And there I had my first international speech sharing about Swedish culture. And also in one of my classes, I had the opportunity to meet the famous runner, you know, Carl Lewis. It was a fun time. Then when I came back to Sweden, I started to become a registered nurse. And I've been working in the health industry for over 25 years as a nurse consultant. I've been visiting many different companies, over 100. And I've seen what the manager and staff are facing many times. They are tired and they are low motivation, headache and low motivation, no passion, stressing, and so on, or have poor routines. And I was feeling this is not a good environment. And also myself, after I've been working many years, I also got influenced and got burned out and got difficult to sleep, difficult to focus, and different problems. So I went to the health clinic and talked to the doctor, and she said you can stay home and be sick for some weeks, but she didn't give me any preventing care, how to get back on track and feel energized again. This was a changing point for me, a deep wake-up call. It's like, what? Now I was starting to, when I was more healthy and more energized, I studied more deep within health, leadership, personal development, business. I took courses in public speaking. I became a Zumba instructor, passion test coach, stand-up comedian. I traveled to different places, for instance, to India, and went to different meditation centers and learned about how to work with early trauma you maybe have or so. And then I put together everything this together and make a success formula, which I help people to reach sustainable and holistic health. And this is important for your health and your success. And it's important, the body is complex. You have to get the body, mind, emotion, and your spirit coming together. And I combine Western and Eastern knowledge as well. And I call this Life Plus. I don't know, how do you feel? Have you experienced you've been sick or tired or unmotivated or lacking of passion? Has that happened? Or are you full of energy, passion, energy, and you feel happy and life is successful? Is that you or somebody else? Do you want some more of this? I want to share some of my success and achievement that I have done so far in my life. I've done several speeches. And for instance, I've been doing a speech at Sheraton Hotel in Sweden for entrepreneurs, over 200 people. And I've been doing speeches for different companies, for their staff and manager, in how to reach a holistic and sustainable health. And I've been a host for the City Hall, where the Nobel Prize is held for an international fashion show. And I've been to New York, in the US, and done stand-up comedy, and I've been in Berlin and done stand-up comedy for over 200 people. And then I've been writing health articles, and I've been speaking for different international networks for Women's Day. And I've been part of the TV show in Sweden 2 times, and also movies and short movies. And also I've been writing different books, both about my speaking experience, also about my health advice, how you can reach sustainable and holistic health. And then also I've been published in different magazines, for instance, Huffington Post, Woman Entrepreneur, Svensk Damtidning, and so on. And I'm so happy that and pleased that I can be a role model for other people, for you or other entrepreneurs and private person. And I understand people are inspired when I face my fear and fulfill my dreams and be successful and reach my achievement that I want. And I want to be a role model, yes. And I want you also to be a role model and be successful. And it's important to listen to yourself and stand up for yourself and support each other and surround yourself with other supportive and nice friends, entrepreneurs. Okay, yes. Yeah, I'm almost finished. Yes. And
thank you, Sophia. My name is Rajini, and I had an internet issue. I had to join in a little later. I was listening to your beautiful talk.
I have 2 sentences left. Yeah.
I have a small formality, and then
okay.
we have only 2 minutes. We have only 1 minute actually. I have a formality to complete.
Yes.
So for the kind of beautiful work you've been doing, the Women Economic Forum is very excited to confer the award Exceptional Leader of Excellence to you, Sophia.
Oh.
And, yes, it's a sweet surprise from Women Economic Forum, and I'm sure it's truly deserved. And this award will reach you very shortly to your place. Thank you very much, Sophia. Please keep doing your good work and carry your legacy forward.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Do you want it like this or plain?
Yeah, plain.
Huh? Plain?
Yeah, I mean, this is okay.
Namaste, Sudha Madam.
Namaste.
Namaste, Madam.
Namaste.
Welcome to Women Economic Forum, and I have the pleasure of hosting you today. My name is Rajini. I'm the Vice President of Human Resources for a steel detailing company based out of United States.
Okay.
I have the pleasure of introducing you as well. So, Madam Sudha Narasimhachar is an ex-banker, freelance journalist, writer, and social activist. She has worked for Canara Bank for 23 years, and after opting out under VRS, she has been writing for the New Indian Express, the Hindu, and other local and online magazines. She writes features, middles, profiles, interviews, opinion articles, short stories, travelogues, and poems. Today, she's going to be launching her book, Churmuri Potpuri. Such a lovely name, Sudha Madam. You've chosen a very attractive name for your book, a collection of short stories, and I like the horse just behind your chair. It's also very attractive. And as a person who loves toys, I'm really attracted to that horse as well, the wooden horse.
Okay.
So, Madam, for all that great work you have done, the Women Economic Forum is extremely delighted to honor you with the Women of Exceptional Excellence Award, and that has been conferred upon you today as you are launching your book.
Thank you so much.
And the award will reach you shortly. Okay. And I hand over the session to you, and you may start the book, and you may launch the book. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So here I am, a banker, a writer, and social activist. But basically, I'm a daughter, mother, and teacher in some ways. So actually, storytelling is the best way to teach anybody, and especially children. So we know how this tradition of storytelling has been used by all religions to propagate their religious ethics and things like that. So storytelling is an art. So it's not very easy to appeal to all ages. Especially writing for children is a big challenge. 10 years ago, I published my first book, The Red Monster and Other Tales, through Pustak Mahal, Delhi. Then I had another set of stories which I wanted to launch, and then 10 years since, the world has changed a lot. So my own family members and friends were wondering whether my stories will really appeal to the present day generation. So as I went back thinking about this challenge, I was wondering, like even in my days, the tastes were different. Many of us enjoyed fantasies. Many of us enjoyed mythological stories, and I mean the variety was a lot. And not all children read everything. Not all children enjoyed everything. And basically, as a child, I enjoyed listening to stories, life stories from my mother, my grandmother, and my aunts, who would relate anecdotes from their lives, from their childhood, and that would give me a picture of what kind of life these people have led. So I used to wonder how there were so many challenges that they faced as children, and they enjoyed life in a different way. What made their childhood interesting and things like that. So my mother was such a storyteller. She never related stories from mythology or history, but of course the atmosphere was always there. Books were all around, and my uncle. My maternal uncle was a voracious reader who introduced me to books, and my parents used to attend these katha kalakshepas, harikate kalakshepas in Tamil and Kannada during Ram Navami and Ganesha festivals and things like that. And I wonder how, as a child of 7 or 8, also, I used to enjoy those stories, though I would not sit intently and listen to the entire Harikate. I can still remember small little stories of humor which the storytellers used to include during their Harikate. I used to enjoy those things. So I thought, like me, there may be other children also who would enjoy these things. And I had an experience when I went to my friend's house, and we were speaking about our life, past, and whatever our children did as children, or what we went through as children. Her grandchildren, who were just 8 and 12, would come and sit intently and listen to us, and they had curious questions to ask. So I thought, I need not think that nobody will enjoy my stories today, because my stories are based mostly on reality, things which happened in my life or my friends' lives, my children's lives. I have spun stories around incidents like that, and I thought, yes, some children will definitely like these, and not only. And then my son was saying, not only children, even the mothers might enjoy, because they can relate just to the stories personally. So when my daughter's friend responded that she lives in US, and I was wondering whether her children would like these stories, because they are totally out of the world. They are not. The children wouldn't have seen anything like this in their lives if they are born and brought up there. But I was surprised that she said her children were enjoying the stories, because when she told them that this is how she grew up, and her sisters grew up, they were curious and they wanted to know more. So they started reading with interest. So I thought, okay, not bad. My attempt is successful to some extent. So this is my book, Churmuri Potpuri. So actually, I have named it like this because it is an assortment of stories of different kinds. I have not followed any specific thread or anything like that. And I know children normally don't like anyone advising them or preaching. And in our days, it was we had classes called moral science, where certain values were taught to us directly, and all the elders at home and around us did not miss any opportunity in advising us, and all that was well received. But we know the present change in the society, that children do not enjoy such preachy stories and values directly imposed on them. They feel nothing should be imposed on them. But true, there are certain basic values which will go a long way to make the society healthy, and they can enjoy, life better. So I have tried to, sugarcoat certain values in my stories, which I hope the children would not mind. Here I recall an incident where I attended a workshop where storytelling as a tool was being discussed, and there was a scientist who came there, and he was saying how any subject could be made interesting by storytelling. If we all remember about Archimedes' principle, just because of the story behind it. Like that, he said you could make, instead of teaching the whatever subject, science or mathematics directly, if you go back and find out certain stories, about the scientists, about the inventors, about the discoverers, you can make even the dry subject more interesting. Children love to attend such classes. And he said how whenever he went to these wedding gatherings, the children would always be around him because he had many riddles and puzzles which contained mathematical problems. So he would, so the children would love those riddles and puzzles, solving them and singing. There are many in regional languages. There are many songs, folklores, and things like that, which impart mathematical principles through in a jolly way, and children really enjoy. So he said you can make learning a very interesting experience by including stories for everything. So I wish, of course, in our days there were a few teachers who did that. I remember even in our college when we had Julius Caesar for in PUC, our lecturer, Mr. Raghavan, was he was very passionate about Shakespeare's works. So the very first day he said, I don't want any disturbance. If somebody is not interested in attending my classes, please stay away the whole year. I'll give you the attendance, but don't disturb me because I really cannot take that. So then he started, and he before starting Julius Caesar as such, he told us so much about the life of Shakespeare and all other works of his, and the highlights of his various works. So till today I have not read any other work of Shakespeare, but because it needs a lot of concentration, and it would be better if some good professor taught me those works. But I still remember. I can remember what he spoke about each work and what are the highlights of those works. So things that happened 45 years, 50 years ago, I can remember because of this. So I feel storytelling is the most wonderful thing. Similarly, even in our seventh standard, when we just had a small, we had small passages from Kamba Ramayanam in Tamil, and our Tamil teacher, Mrs. Vasanta, made the class so interesting because she related the entire Ramayana. That's when I heard the Ramayana in full, not from my grandfather or my grandmother or my mother. So I really enjoyed that. The classes were so interesting because she told us the entire Ramayana, and then she took up those passages and explained the poetry to us. So similarly, I really feel children will enjoy learning when it is taught in that way, as a story in the form of a story. So I thought, okay, I will try launching this book to the children of the world. I would recommend all of you to please buy the book, read it first, and please gift it to the children from your family or from your friends' families. They will really like it. I've used very simple language because I'm not a great vocabulary specialist. So I'm sure anyone can understand these stories right from age 8. It's easy to understand, and the concepts are also presented in a very simple way. Thank you. This book is available on all the platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, and Notion Press publishers who have published the book. So I request all of you to please read the book, and also remember to send me a note of what you liked about the book, or even you can send your criticisms. They are welcome. Thank you. Rajini?
Thank you, Ms. Sudha.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the launch, and we are truly honored.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity, because I am really very proud to have been given this opportunity in your esteemed forum, because there are such great achievers here, and to think that I am one among them, I feel really proud. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good evening. Are we waiting for our panelists to join us? Okay, thanks. Hope the live streaming hasn't started. Good evening, everybody. Our next speaker on this platform is Ms. Dia Bose. She's just having a little challenge in logging on, so request you to just have some patience and she'll be just joining us soon. Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Dia.
Hi.
You need to put on your camera, please.
Sure.
Brilliant. So we've got Dia. Dia is your name, Dia Bose Sen Gupta.
Yes.
I was just reading about you on your Instagram handle, and I love that the first way to describe yourself was as a mother, and then as an IT professional and a state medalist in saber sport fencing. You're a trained rifle shooter, an experimental cook, and trained in classical dance and a Rotarian. So, wow, it's really lovely to have you on this session with us at the Women Economic Forum. And over to you, Dia. You have 15 minutes. I'll raise my hand once you're closer to the end of your session so that I can just give you a heads up. So
Sure.
please, over to you.
Thanks
Thank
a
you so
lot.
much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you for inviting me. And really, it's a pleasure for me to have you all here. And right now, I am a state medalist and also qualified as a national player right now. And apart from that, right now, I have come for women in fencing. And I'm going to give you a brief idea of fencing. So fencing, I would say, is a sport based on ancient activities of duelings, you must say. So you must say it's defined yourself against the attacks and try to attack your opponent to get a touch. And it's like when you touch, you get the score. It is like this. This is the way you get the points. In fencing is a physical chess. It is a sport of strategy. So you must try out smart your opponent through many different moves. This creates your opportunity for an attack. It's a sport of fast action. So there are three different types of swords. So there are three types of swords. There is foil, ipi, and saber. So I am currently qualified as a national for my saber sword. I specialized in the saber sword fencing. And right now, I just wanted to tell there are many women has been a part of the Olympics since the Paris Olympics in 1924. Since then, number of legends have left their mark in the world of fencing. There are many more legendary people are there. So first I should say Valentia Vesilina, who is Italian politician and fencer. Her fencing career results in 6 gold medals in the foil competition. Second, I would refer as Mariel Geus, that is from USA, a professional saber fencer, an American who won Olympic gold medal in 2004 and 2008. And another, I would say, Polano Karlan, Ukraine. It's a saber fencer from Ukraine, bronze medalist in 2016 Olympic, alongside with the 5 other world and European titles. So there are so many fencing legendary people like Ellen Paris from Australia. She's a champion twice in gold medalist in foil fencing for Olympics. Then we have Ina Dariglazova from Russia. She is a silver medalist, multiple times world champion in individual and team categories. Then we have Giovanna Trillina. She is an Italian and most successful female gold medalist in Olympic with 8 gold medalists for foil sword. Now, if we come to Indians to watch for, so right now, Indians are very much famous, and in India, fencing got famous through the name C.A. Bhavani Devi. So she is the one role model right now for the fencing. Some of the achievements of Bhavani Devi, I would say, like the first Indian fencer for qualified for Olympics, Tokyo Olympics, where she managed to reach the round of 30. And then she went on to win the silver in the Toronto satellite fencing champion in Iceland, multiple times medalist in Asia and Commonwealth fencing champion, Arjuna Award winner as well in 2021. And apart from there are some rising stars from India, that is Ina Arora from EP. She's ranked in FIE 572. Then Radhika Prakash Avati, she's from Foil, and she is FIE rank 196. Then Ritu Bharatbhai Chaudhary, she is also from AP and she is being ranked as 548. And another would be Harpreet Kaur from Sabre. She's also ranked as 326. So these are the people from fencing who are very much legendary out here. And with that, I believe I will provide you few more details about fencing, like how we go on fencing, means what are the things you should wear so that you can go for fencing. What are the things you do, like the helmet. I cannot show you right now because I have PPT, but right now I do not, I cannot show you out here, but I should have share your screen so it would be helpful. So we have like a helmet which you always wear for playing. Then the sword, the main thing is the sword. Then the gloves, the gloves we wear. And other than that, we have the jackets that we wear out here. And with that, you have the guards, and these are the things. The electric, we have to wear the channels for the electric pointings, the points that we receive. And these are the things what mainly we wear. So if you ask about the safety for the fencing, then I would say fencing is very safe as long as appreciated procedure, if you follow the rules and all. Then fencing gives rise to very few injuries compared, because these are the swords, it will not like cut, or means it will not cut, it will just slash the things, means if you touch it. And mostly the things are like you are wearing the jackets and all, it is just a point, means touch and all, you will get the points. You do not have to like slash or cut anything. So the protective equipments are there as well, is the key to make sure that you are wearing everything for playing this particular fencing. And apart from these, I would say definitely people should go and do fencing, because if the people who love to do fencing, it's like, for me, I would just share a story, because I never thought that I would go for fencing. And my husband, who is also a national level player, he inspired me to go for fencing. And he said, you can come with me. If you sitting back home and just doing nothing is like, it's better to come with me and start doing the practice and see how you feel. And then I went with him, and then I start playing fencing. And after started practicing, it's like when I go ahead and hold that sword and wear that helmet, it's like I don't know, I have become a different person. It's like all the energies are coming inside me, and I can definitely win the match, and I can slash the opponent. I can just get the points and all. So that power, that power, what I feel inside, it's like because of this game. And also it's very, when you win the match, it's like so much of things you get. And with that, I have explained what are the types of swords and what are the things you should wear, and like positions. I should give you some idea for the targeted areas. So there are three swords, right? Three swords is act in a three different way to get the points. There are three different target area. So for foil, the target area below the neck and till the hip. And for EP, if you go for the, it's for whole body is the target area for getting the points. Target area means where you can touch for getting the points. And then you have saber. Saber is from the head till the hip. So from the head till the hip, you can touch and you can get the points. So these are the main things you have to maintain for this. And it's not that you have to, when you're practicing at home or anywhere, you have to, it's not that you have to practice by sword. You can practice by a stick as well, or a fake one if you want. So reason mostly people do fencing, it's like it's presents a mental and physical challenge and make many, and also when you go out there you have many friends to do, you get a lot of friends out there, and also promotes discipline and etiquettes, promotes mutual respect among peers, and cardiovascular activities. With fencing, when you do you have a cardiovascular activity.
Yeah, we will have to end the session. We've just got a minute left, and I don't want to take this opportunity to thank you for giving us knowledge on fencing, which is something I think a lot of us are not aware of. And it's not just a sport to fight or learn fighting, but it's also got a lot of skill to it and a lot in terms of personality development. So thank you so much for sharing all about fencing with us, and for all the great efforts that you have put in, and for what you have achieved in this field. The Women Economic Forum is excited and thrilled to honor you with an exceptional leadership award, which is as an exceptional leader of excellence is the award that we would like to give to you. So wish you all the very best, and thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. The live streaming been started. Hi, Akshata.
Namaste.
Hi. And we're live, although we have 2 more minutes to start the session.
Okay, so should we wait for 2 minutes and then?
Yes, let's wait and we'll start.
I hope I'm visible and clear, audible.
Yes, you're clear and looking lovely.
Thank you.
So where are you based, Akshata?
Bangalore. My
Okay.
office is in Elanka.
Okay, that's close to where I work.
Oh,
So
nice. Where is
my
it?
office is at the Taj Yashwantpur.
Okay, great. So we can meet up sometime.
We should, and you're doing something very interesting, which is Vedic Vastu. So
Yes,
it's not just Vastu, it's obviously going a little more deep rooted to our ancient traditions,
yes.
which is lovely.
Because I too have learned it in a Gurukula kind of a system wherein my Guruji had made us sit every day and learn from his knowledge without giving any notes or computer printed sheets. We had to go back to our rooms and then note down whatever we have learned every day. And
Wow.
he has made us learn 84 lakhs of horoscopes and house blueprints through which we have been here today in this position because of his blessings and guidance.
Wow. So where is he based?
He was in Mysore and he's right now not there. He has passed away. He was
I'm sorry.
92 years old when he taught us. So
Wow.
gladly,
So have you documented it all?
yes, we have tried to document how much ever possible, but 84 lakhs was almost impossible.
Wow. Yes, please start the session. Thank you. So great. Good evening, everybody, and really happy to introduce our next speaker. That's Dr. Akshata. Akshata will be talking to us about Vedic Vastu and modern architecture. Her company is Jyotir Vastu, and she's a Vastu consultant. But as I was talking to her, she's not just a mere Vastu consultant, and she's going to share with us the immense knowledge that she's learned from her guru in the next 15 minutes, a short time to teach us about 85 lakh different horoscope, you said, but you'll explain that further to us, Akshata. So over to you. Akshata, before the time is going to get over, I'm just going to raise my hand. So you need to give me the last 1 minute of your session, please. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Hari Om and Namaste, everyone. I'm very much honored to be a part of this global platform, and my heartfelt gratitude to all the beautiful souls behind this magnificent event for giving me this opportunity. I'm very much grateful. Thank you. I would like to give a quick introduction about myself. I'm Dr. Akshata Rao, Vastu Consultant at Jyotir Vastu, Bengaluru, India. With the divine grace of God, I have been able to serve people for more than 11 years to, around 5,000 people whom I am able to serve from my heart. I have received many prestigious awards for my service as a recognition, and the ones which is very close to my heart are the honorary doctorate received from Indian Institute of Oriental Heritage, Calcutta, and the famous Jagadguru Shankaracharya Award. Today, I would like to talk about Vedic Vastu and modern architecture. India has always been known for its traditions and cultures. The three major streams of knowledge that originated in India are yoga, Ayurveda, and Vastu. We all know that Ayurveda is the science of food and medicines. Yoga is the science for body, mind, and breath. Similarly, Vastu Shastra is that science of architecture which shows the individual how one can create and live in harmony with the built and unbuilt environment also. There are texts on Vastu Shastra that have been in existence for over 12,000 years. That is the Vedic period. These texts have been documented various aspects of architecture after several years of trial and error in the field. These traditional architects, sculptors, craftsmen, they have continued to practice and embody this philosophy, skills, and techniques of this ancient tradition till date. According to Hindu mythology, it is believed that Lord Brahma asked Vishwakarma to develop an architectural system that included the powers of the basic five elements, that is, air, water, earth, fire, and space. This system helps in the organization of space within a structured base on their function in relation to one another as well as to their usage. Though this concept has been passed on so many generations through the centuries, sadly, as of today, this science has become a very debatable question. Vastu Shastra is not new science. It is a Vedic science and architectural technology that is not time related but eternal. The ancient Vastu architects were aware of structural engineering and construction technologies that are being used even today. So, the question of Vastu Shastra being obsolete or redundant doesn't arise. It can be said that the Vastu Shastra of modern day architecture is similar to the ancient science, only difference is in the way of approaching the concepts. This infers that unknowingly we are still following the ancient Vastu Shastra as derived in the Vedic sutras. We all know that architecture is the art and science of designing spaces. It is aimed at creating comfortable and also congenial living conditions for the users. Similarly, Vastu Shastra studies and also helps the architect to take a more holistic picture into account. It is not something which is unbiased or something redundant. It is something which gives you a more holistic picture into account. My goal here today is to emphasize the same, the role of Vastu Shastra and its practical applications. Vastu Shastra is that science of building design and planning that deals with the study of practice and the interrelationship of the forces of nature. As said earlier, they are the air, water, and fire, or the light, that are the three natural forces that have a direct impact on our living. House is a place where these three forces are existent and flowing. It is absolutely necessary to maintain a smooth and harmonious flow of these natural forces, because in absence of a synchrony of these, the lives of the occupants can get out of balance, and that is where Vastu Shastra comes into picture. An increasing number of people are beginning to experience the fragmented and often disturbing kind of an environment, or the impact of the built environment in cities and towns, especially in the last few decades. The Vastu Shilpa Shastra are technical texts. It is a very technical text that deals with the design and building or crafting of the built environment as well as the interiors. Unfortunately, the modern architecture, the technical data contained in this amazing text have been sidelined, and they have become a mean cosmetic adjustment to the building. The reality is very far from this and needs to be shared and taught to designers, architects, and some more interested members of the society. My task in the last decade has been to disseminate the knowledge in various ways so that the intelligent aspects of this vast tradition may be reabsorbed into the mainstream of modern architecture. I would like to give an example, best example of Indian style of Vastu Shastra or architecture would be the Tirupati Balaji temple in Andhra Pradesh. It is one of the most revered spiritual centers in the country. It was built around 300 AD in the Dravidian style, which strictly adheres to the principles of Vastu Shastra. India's ancient science of architecture dictates that all built forms must integrate with nature. And that is why it's the wealthiest temple in the world and receives the largest number of pilgrims, maybe around 40 million people annually. You just imagine 40 million people going to one place. What would be the energy or magnitude of that place attracting so many people? And that is where Vastu helps even businesses, commercial places, or houses. If you are doing if you want more to do more business, what you will feel, you want more people to walk in, you want more customers to walk in, and that is where Vastu can help you to attract people. Vastu Shilpa Shastra is not the present day joke. It is from the day one, it is from the Vedic times. And not only temples, even the palaces and many other monolithic structures were built according to the principle of Vastu Shastra, which still stand tall and proud with strong foundations that withstand even the most horrifying catastrophes of nature. One more example which I would like to give is in 2013, when the entire town was perished as a result of devastating floods. The Kedarnath temple in the Himalayas was the only structure that survived. It was built in accordance with Vastu Shastra, and that is where it survived. And what is built in harmony with nature will survive even the most severe of the nature's wrath. And that is why I say Vastu Shastra is not just about construction, it is all about living in harmony with nature. Owing to colonial hangover, post independence, Indian architects sought to mimic the West and the architectural styles without considering whether or not those styles were conducive to Indian landscape. The current trend these days is to buy an apartment that is close to amenities and easy on the pocket. So the concept of following Vastu guidelines has become very redundant. Today, India is still a developing country, and the common man cannot afford to follow concepts like Vastu. And for many, it's just a relief to afford even a roof of their own. And they say making Vastu Shastra is totally irrelevant for them. The current generation cannot understand or accept the significance of such an ancient subject in modern constructions, with the end result of many people disregarding Vastu Shastra when buying a new home or building it. They doubt its relevance in the current economic scenario and environment. The modern generation are of the opinion that it's better to adapt to new and innovative ways rather than following contemporary ideas. That with the current trend, having to struggle for even a little bit of air in a multi-storied apartment being so tough to stay there, it's a further burden to try to adapt that restricted space into Vastu Shastra concepts. And maybe for this, the general concept now is that Vastu Shastra is for only the rich who cannot or who can afford to spend that extra change building plans to suit this ancient science. But actually, in reality, that is, if anybody does Vastu, or if they take care of Vastu requirements, it would not only help them to stay healthy, wealthy, and at peace, but also feel a lot safer with the blessings of Devtas and at a very affordable price. Luckily, there are a few builders and architects who religiously follow Vastu Shastras while designing and building their apartment complexes, so that the common man doesn't have to take the additional burden of worrying whether his new home is Vastu compliant or not. According to me, modern Indian architecture is all about taking concepts from our ancient practices of building and uniting traditional techniques with the present day technology. The beauty of traditional knowledge streams are that they are never meant to be stagnant or fixed bodies of knowledge. They have evolved, gained volume and richness gradually over time, with each generation testing the knowledge and adding on to it. The Vastu Parampara tradition provided a holistic, cultural, practical, scientific, and even spiritual foundation through the generations for traditional architects and craftsmen. The Shilpi's integrity, the compassion, and moral values were respected as much as his mastery of skill and his ability to work well with the available resources. As the saying goes, prevention is better than cure. Let us include these principles of Vastu in construction itself so that the entire building stands firm and its inmates have a better living. As per Vastu, it is not just construction planning. It all starts from the check of the soil, direction of the wind, water flow, and even color therapy and interior designing too. So what I would like to stress on is Vastu Shastra may not be essential for living, but it is a very helpful and it is very helpful for a magnificent, healthier and wealthier life. One thing I would like to say and conclude is come join me to explore this ancient tradition of Vastu Shastra and let us recreate a holistic and a modern architecture. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akshita. It's and I think there was a lot more to learn from you. The time was short, but you have given us at least a brief and something to reach out to you for more learnings. Not much of a believer of Vastu myself, but I believe in our ancient traditions, and I know that it can actually make a huge difference to our well-being. For all the efforts that you and you're putting together to retain the knowledge from your guru, and for the brilliant efforts and work that you're doing, the Women Economic Forum is wanting to give you the award of an exceptional leader of excellence. So, many congratulations to you for getting the award, and look forward to a lot more from you for the society and for all of us out here at the WEF. All the best, Rakshita.
Thank you so much. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu and samasta sanmangalani bhavantu. Thank you.
Thank you. With you soon.
Sure.
Definitely.
I actually, so initially I was offered that as VP. There were 4 platforms which are offered. So there's the Defense Council, which Major Aditi leads. That one, the Diversity and Inclusion one, the Publishing one, which Raj leads. She leads the one. So I chose that one. So I am part of Wiki, the Vice President of the Publishing Council.
Brilliant. So we will work together. And we are live now. We've got our viewers watching us. Everybody, good evening. Very happy and honored to share with you. On the screen, we have Squadron Leader Delshad Master, and she's going to be talking to us about women at the forefront of inclusion. As you can see, she's got it behind her also, but now she wants to put it in front of us. So over to you, Delshad.
Thank you so very much. And before I start, I would like to make a small dedication. Tomorrow is my father's birthday. That's his 84th birthday. And I would just like to say happy birthday, Dad. And this speech is dedicated to you because you have made me the woman that I am today. So with this, once again, wish you a very happy birthday, and I hope you enjoy this when you get to listen to it. William Wallace once said that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Well, I say it's time for us to rule the world, whether or not we may have rocked the cradle. My dear sisters, did you know that we actually outnumber men as per the latest UN population division census? We then are probably the world's only majority that is even today struggling to feel included. Do you see the irony here? With us being discriminated against ourselves, how can we and why should we lead the fight to a more inclusive world? Well, the answer is very simple. Because we know best where the shoe pinches. And therefore, no matter how many men stand before us, exuding compassion, sympathy, understanding, they still could not have slipped into our shoes. And most of the times, it's not even their fault. Being a man automatically bestows certain privileges and prerogatives upon you simply by birth. Your views of the world then are through those tinted lenses of privilege. So no matter how high your sympathy quotient, your shoes will most often be lined with velvet, and therefore you shall never really realize where the shoe pinches most. For centuries, women have faced oppression and discrimination simply back then when they were the only class. Although considered inferior, they were still considered a necessity, and therefore they had to be born. In fact, right here in India, the struggle of a female fetus begins even before she has had a chance to take her first breath. Even if she survives that ordeal of birth, whether it's giving it or receiving it, she lives the rest of her life being made to believe that she is inferior, weaker, or of little consequence, barring household chores and childbirth. Unfortunately, it is invariably her own kind, other women, that have led the way in propagating her misery, her inferiority, and subjugation. Again, do you see the irony? We are probably the only class of discriminated citizens that propagate discrimination even among ourselves. And finally, the ultimate irony. These hands, the head, and the heart that births, nurtures, cares for, and brings up the male of the species, ends up being subjugated by that very gender. How is it that the ones that hold the key to propagation and multiplication of the species are themselves made to feel inadequate and be like lesser beings? The ironies of it all couldn't have been starker and more glaring. And although the discrimination might vary in degree, intensity, and nature, unfortunately it exists universally. Here is a majority, us, that have been subjugated for far too long, so much so that it has wreaked havoc with our psyche, leading us to believe in our subpar status. So when the odds are stacked so highly up against us, who do you think is going to come and rescue us? Certainly not the very people who put us there in the first place. And if we then need to be our own knights in shining armor, it would definitely help if we shed our crab mentality and pull up each other instead. Learn to pick each other up and take each other along the way to inclusion. Now, let me share with you stories of a few common, ordinary women that you may not even have heard of. And there is a reason I share this with you. I'll tell you about it towards the end. The first woman that I would like to speak about is Miss Madhu Singhal. Now, Miss Madhu Singhal was born and raised and spent the large part of her childhood in Haryana. With great encouragement from her parents, she attended school and learnt Braille. Yes, my sisters, she was born blind. So she learnt Braille in after-school hours. And she was such a self-driven child that while other students would take notes with paper and pen, Madhu would quickly take notes in Braille. Not just that, when she grew up, because of her love for classical music, she even went on to do her masters in Hindustani classical music. Now, Madhu could very comfortably have taken up a government job, had a cushy life, exploited the quota for people with disabilities and lived a very comfortable life. But that was not what Madhu chose to do. Madhu not only pulled herself up, she pulled others up too. Encouraged by her brother-in-law, Madhu set up an audio library right from his garage in Bangalore. When she realized that she could not get across to the locals here, she took the trouble to learn Kannada from a Kannadiga friend of hers. In 1990, she established Mitra Jyoti. Today, it has grown from strength to strength. She has established a talking library, independent living skills. She teaches independent living skills at Mitra Jyoti. She cares about women's empowerment. She also skills the visually impaired in computer training. For all of this, she has received numerous awards, the primary among them being an honorary doctorate from the Bijapur University and the President's Award for Empowerment of People with Disabilities in 2008. Now, Madhu is a woman who could have sulked, cursed her fate, at the most made the most of her disability by getting herself a cushy job and living a comfortable life. But instead, she chose to be a change agent for people of her tribe, establishing, as I said, a talking library, independent living skills training center, a Braille transcription center, a computer training center, and a women's empowerment cell within the confines of her NGO Mitra Jyoti. Needless to say that since 1990, she has touched, strengthened and pulled up lakhs like her. She was not only her knight in shining armor, she has been that knight for many other men and women. The second lady I would like to talk to you about is Miss Jyoti Dhawale. Now, Miss Jyoti Dhawale was born into sufficient privilege. She was the daughter of a now retired group captain of the Indian Air Force. Unfortunately for her, while she had a regular birth and a wonderful childhood, a freak accident in Pahalgam at the age of 3 lent her deaf for life. Not just that, after she was declared deaf, Jyoti still had the zest to live and grow like any normal child. So she learned to lip read and lived her life comfortably until in 2005 tragedy struck again. And Jyoti accidentally, due to sheer medical negligence, when she was forced by her husband to undergo her third abortion, she contracted HIV. Fortunately for her, in 2006, she gave birth to a healthy HIV negative baby boy. Once again, cursing life and living under the radar would have been, oh, so comfortable and easy. But Jyoti, true to her name, chose to be the light at the end of the tunnel for several others after her. Today, she is an out and proud person living with HIV, an out and proud ally for the LGBTQ community, a strong AIDS activist, having funded her movement PLWHA, which stands for People Living with HIV and AIDS. She's also a TEDx speaker, a motivational speaker, and a global ambassador for the Well Project for HIV and women. Through her work, her inspiring social media presence, she has touched thousands of lives and served as an inspiration to very many men and women living under what was once believed to be the trauma of AIDS. The third and final woman that I'd like to speak to you about is Lakshmi Narayan Tripathi. By far, the most famous among the women that I choose to speak of today. Lakshmi is a trans woman who chose not to be limited by others' judgments, prejudices and opinions about her. Lakshmi is a transgender rights activist, a Bollywood actress, a Bharatanatyam dancer, choreographer and motivational speaker. But this isn't why I speak of her. I mention her here because she has been the first trans woman to have given other trans women a life of dignity and self-worth. Above all her credentials, to me the most significant hat that she dons is that of an entrepreneur. Because through that, she has helped create jobs for many of her tribe's women who can now make a decent living without indulging in begging, sex work and humiliation of all sorts. She started Kinneer, a factory to produce and sell bottled mineral water that employs only trans women. This has impacted their lives immeasurably and they now live with pride and a sense of purpose. Now, why do I tell you all these stories and why did I choose these women to speak of? It was largely to demonstrate that no matter in what circumstances you're born, no matter what upheavals life throws at you or how badly society chooses to write you off, you can be your own knights in shining armor. No man may come riding on a white steed to sweep you off your feet and rescue you out of your misery. Get on that horse yourself and learn to ride if you wish to change your fortune. But most importantly, once you have learned to do that, never forget to lift and pull up others along the way. The beauty of carving a wonderful life for yourself lies in doing the same for others as well. A path you create for yourself will only last you your lifetime. You and your path shall dissolve into nothingness and be forgotten soon after. But when you create and leave behind a legacy by carrying others along on your path, you just don't leave footprints in the sand. You carve out a path in stone for several others to tread on even after you are long gone. And finally, before I close, let me once again reiterate why women should be leading inclusion. Inclusion to me is nothing but carrying people along, making a change even if it is one life at a time. And women have been doing this since ages. We are natural nurturers, caregivers, aiming to do the best for people that we love. All we need to do now is to expand the circle gradually and bring into our fold one person at a time. And trust me when I say that you shall never run out of love. Love is limitless. What's needed is for us to push our limits a little by little. Begin making a difference in others' lives. It doesn't matter where you start, what your scale, and how long you take. Simply pick something you're good at or love doing and see how you could change someone else's life with that skill, knowledge, or opportunity. And finally, to close, let me borrow a line from Jyoti Dhavale. She says, and this is what she'd want her epitaph to read: I don't see why we can't all have a similar one. She says, here lies a woman who lived life in such a way that she didn't die in vain. Let's all have that epitaph for ourselves too. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dilshad. I think as a woman, I have never felt unequal because I think I've been very privileged, but it's wonderful that you know what you spoke about the ladies in spite of the challenges, how they have achieved and what you are helping people and different sources that you're using to make a difference. Really hats off to all of you, and lots of blessings to you for all the great work and the effort that you are doing, especially the Women Economic Forum is it's a pleasure to give you the award of Exceptional Leader of Excellence. So fabulous work done, Dilshad, and wish you all the very best in your efforts. God bless you. Take care. Thank you. And thrilled to introduce Miss Pallavi Wali. Pallavi is obviously I'm happy to introduce her because she also works with us in Wiki DNI, and she's our president for Rajasthan. But today she's talking to us about active listening for global peace. Pallavi is the founder of the South Asian Peace Project, and I'd like her to introduce the project and what is being done there. So Pallavi, you need to just see when my hand goes up, that means you just have a minute left and you have to give me that minute, please. So all the best and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Priya ma'am. I hope I'm not lagging.
No, you're not. You're absolutely fine.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Namaste, adab, and hello, everybody, whoever's watching in whatever time zone. I'm guessing there are not too many viewers, but I'm so glad to be here since this is all of our hard work coming together finally. I'm so humbled, so thrilled to be here. I will take a short while to introduce myself and what we are doing at the South Asian Peace Project. Like Priya ma'am said, my name is Pallavi Wali. My parents come from two violently active zones in India. My father's a Kashmiri Pandit, my mother is a Manipuri Meitei, and we've heard stories of violence since childhood. Usually, if you hear stories of violence, you tend to become more hateful. That didn't work for me too well. I didn't want to be hateful. I was drawn towards peace. So I knew that I had to study peace somehow. I have a master's in conflict resolution, and I'm so glad I did it because it finally came to use when I founded the South Asian Peace Project. What SAP does is we bring to the fore all the peace building narratives or all the initiatives that are taking place in South Asia. And we sort of try to overcome the meta narrative of violence and vengeance in the zone. So we try to bring in local peace builders, the student community, or peace building citizens or journalists or whoever is interested in peace in general. And we try to not make it an exclusive thing. We do have big peace building meetings taking place in, say, Geneva or Switzerland or anywhere else, but we want to make it a local affair. So that's what we do. It's about the local people, it's about local communities, it's about hearing them, hearing their voices, hearing their stories. So that's what it's all about. Also, it's volunteer run. So whoever wants to join us, it's open. The floor is completely open to everybody. So that's what we do at SAP. Why I chose to speak over this topic today is because it's very close to my heart, like I just mentioned. Let's talk about what is active listening. In general, in a very short sentence, active listening is listening respectfully to the other person and also speaking in such a way that it develops mutual understanding. Not just speaking in order to speak, but trying to build a rapport, be respectful, because respect in many cultures is very important, right? And in many cultures, actively listening is considered the deepest form of respect. And I have noticed this personally. This was during a short workshop that we were doing with local communities on ground. This was in Rajasthan. The exercise was fairly simple. We had asked the whole team to get together in groups of 2, and there would be one listener and one speaker. The rules were fairly simple again. The listener had to actively listen, which means nod while the speaker is speaking, or make gestures that you are listening, and using filler words like yes. So this helps. By the end of the activity, so everybody was supposed to listen to the speaker for 2 minutes each, and then switch, and then the listener becomes the speaker, and vice versa. So by the end of the activity, there was complete silence in the room, and I thought probably this activity failed because nobody was speaking anything. And then we asked everybody how was the experience and how was it to really push them. It turned out that people were really appalled and somehow also relieved. It had been many years that they were listened to. And I remember one man stood up and he said, "This is probably the first time that anybody has ever listened to me." And wow, that was really moving. And we were thinking that it's a failure, it's a complete fail, but it wasn't. It was such a success. And that's when I realized actively listening to anybody, even to yourself, is such a big deal, because the world needs more listeners and less speakers. I'm also, I just made a controversial statement because I said we need more listeners, and I'm the one speaking here. I hope you're listening. I would also go and listen to wonderful speakers in some time. But yeah, coming back to active listening, when we talk about global peace, storytelling, I think, is a big tool when it comes to global peace building. Within storytelling, dialogue is very important. Now, dialogue is not just one person talking or one community talking or somebody powerful talking. Dialogue is supposed to be a two-way street, not a linear one. So here again, active listening comes into play. Now, why is it so important to be actively listening to whatever the other person is saying? Because like I told you, like almost in every culture places value on the idea of being a good listener and not only a good speaker. It is considered the deepest form of respect. And yet, listening is one of the most difficult practices that we can cultivate. So, like today, the world is constantly dominated by, say, electronic distraction or ideological, political, economic divides, and frantic daily lives. The art of listening to another is often lost. So I think listening again comes into play when we're talking about peace building, because there is a form of respect that you're giving to the other person, and many may consider listening to be, say, a passive process. It is not. It is a thinking function. you have to explore the idea of active listening as a way of responding to another person so that it improves mutual understanding. It requires attention, eye contact, analytical skills. It's everything. So we cannot really consider active listening to be a passive process. Now we can talk about active listening in 4 major areas. Let's say it's the self and the other, the self and the community, and the self and the environment. Why I'm talking about these 4 aspects is because this is what is the most important when it comes to global peace. Let's talk about the first thing. When it comes to making peace with yourself, which is obviously the most important thing when we're talking of a global level peace building exercise, it's also important to build that kind of peace with one's self. Here comes into play contemplative practice and meditation skills. What these skills do is that they open up the idea of listening to one's self. And of course, similarly, when we're talking with the other or the community, we have to bring into consideration how we would like to be listened to. So if the other person is talking, what do we do? We make encouraging gestures. We say, so is that what you mean? Or to paraphrase the other person, you say, so what I have gathered is, using all of these things. These are small tools that you can use in order to make the other person feel welcome and respected. With the community, for instance, if there are 2 warring communities or 2 conflicting communities, active listening is very, very important. This is the 3rd point, the self and the community, and it is very important here. You may be engaging with the community, say in a personal capacity or a professional capacity, or maybe you're just representing your own community. Why it's so important to hear is because you get a perspective on what the other person has also faced. Taking the example of, say, the India-Pakistan conflict. And we'll not necessarily talk about the Kashmir conflict because it's not the right place to be talking about it. But when I engage with people from Pakistan, or when I engage with people from Bangladesh, or when I'm engaging with people from the South Asian communities, I come to realize that we all think alike and we're not very different from each other. There may be a political narrative somewhere above, but on ground, we all think alike and we're so similar. I often tell my friends in Pakistan that, we were brothers and sisters a while ago, and now all of a sudden we're just divided by this territorial understanding of our countries, but we're never divided at heart. In fact, South Asian Peace Project is working on a campaign called Beyond the Borders, which is an Indo-Pak peace campaign. And after the session, maybe all of you all can go and check it out on the South Asian Peace Project page. But yeah, coming back to it, that was about the self and the community. With the environment, how do we make peace, or how do we take a peace building with the environment is maybe spending a little time in nature, especially when we're coming from urban spaces. For example, if I'm in Delhi, there is not, Delhi pollution is infamous world over. I try and spend some time with nature, and that brings a lot of peace to me. There is something called the Sundar Nursery. If anybody here listening to is from Delhi or is in Delhi right now, you must go check out Sundar Nursery. It is amazing. And if you spend little time in nature, listening to the birds, or just sitting under a tree, or just looking at the greenery, I think it brings great amount of positivity on a daily basis. So these are small things that you can do. Imagine this happening at a micro level, and then imagine this happening at the global level. You're listening and you're not really doing anything. So when you try and listen to the environment in that sense, so when that happens at a global level, I think that's where peace comes in. So there are many aspects, like I mentioned. I'll quickly just wrap up here. Storytelling, actively listening to the other person's story, because it's not an idea. It's their life that they're speaking about. So storytelling is where active listening comes in. Intrapersonal or interpersonal communication is where active listening comes in. Peace building is where active listening comes in. connecting with the nature is where active listening comes in. All of these factors help us build that kind of yeah, I have 3 minutes left, it seems. Okay, so that's where we try and connect with the self as well as the community and then the globe at large. So I think that's I think I'm going to stop here. I don't have much to say, but everybody must try and listen today. Just listen to somebody who you haven't heard in a long time. If you don't have a person who you listen to very often, just go out, explore, listen to the nature, listen to birds. I think it's going to work pretty well for all of us. So I'm going to stop there. Everybody, please go check out the South Asian Peace Project. We're doing the South Asian peace campaign with Beyond the Borders. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to be. It was a wonderful opportunity to be here. I wish I had prepared more, but yeah, it was great being here. Thank you so much, Priya ma'am. Do I still have like time?
You have 2 minutes.
I have 2 minutes. I'll just, in these 2 minutes, I'll listen to you actively, very actively, if you have anything to say.
So there's this saying in Hindi which says "Ek chup saw sukh," which
Whoa,
is used to be told to me by my mom to keep quiet sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's on a personal level, but on all levels, what you said was just so true. And bringing it at another front of politics and other spaces, God, we could really have a wonderful world. Thank you for all your efforts, dear Palvi. And for this, we at the Women Economic Forum would like to give you the Award of Excellence for the outstanding leadership work that you're doing, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Bhumi. Thank you. This really means a lot. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Self-care is not selfish. I think the topic itself means a lot, but over to you, Minali.
Am I audible?
Very clear, please.
Am I visible?
Very visible. Thank you.
Few years back, I was neither audible nor visible to me. They didn't believe me. They didn't encourage me. They scared me. They put me in a fear. They also made me to doubt on myself. I'm sure most of us go through a same phase of life where you see a lot of obstacles coming in your goals. Today, I'm going to reveal who are they. They are none other than my earlier persona, my earlier habits. It was me who believed self-care is selfish. And with that, I was almost 98 kgs. Good evening, members. I am Minali, founder of Get Fit with Minali J. And my today's topic is self-care is not selfish. The major difference between self-care and selfish is the one who takes care of himself and is not bothered about anyone else is a selfish person. I hope you'll agree with me. And a person who takes care of himself and help others is definitely a person who believes in taking self-care. To connect with this, I would like to bring an example of flight. You have heard from air hostess when they say the oxygen mask falls, please take care of you first, and then the fellow passengers. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You all have heard about this. And my another question is, often we use this body for our growth, for our career, for our earnings, for our dreams. We work day, night and out. We say, I don't have time. I eat whatever I get. But all those things, we do this from our own body, but we are least bothered to take care of this body. Isn't it the act of selfishness? I come from a construction background. I used to work as a sales manager. My work was to meet architects, bring orders, payments. I was enjoying that work. And I was never ever bothered about health. I always believed, ek hi life hai, aaram se khao piyo. But to my shock, 5 years back, I was pre-diabetic and I was 98 kgs. And doctor strictly told me, Minali, you have to lose weight. I was not only pre-diabetic, but also had a back pain, and I had a migraine. And at that time, I was hardly 28 years old. I come from Indian Air Force background. My dad was working for Indian Air Force. I couldn't accept this, At this age, I have entered this kind of lifestyle. That's how my journey started to become fitter. I tried many weight loss solutions like some shakes, massages. They are not bad, but what happened? They were not sustainable. And I was still solving that puzzle. How can I get fit? And then I started taking care of my eating habits. But then I realized eating, that itself is not sufficient. There is something, workouts also I have to do. At 98 kg, how one can do workouts? I forced myself, HIIT, yoga, so many things, but every time I failed. And then I felt that I'm the most useless person on this earth. Somehow I started workouts, walking, but then I realized I'm an emotional eater. If I'm upset, I start eating food and I see reward in my food. So I saw the mental aspects, physical aspects, food. It was like a puzzle that what's causing the weight gain. And this is how my journey started of discovering how one can achieve their fitness goal. And I'm still solving those puzzles every day. And when I realized self-care is not selfish, I lost 25 kgs in my own kitchen without fat burners by simple workouts at home. Meditating every day, doing small things which helps me to take care of myself, I started losing weight. I personally never believed in weight loss, fat loss. These are very small goals. Working on your lifestyle by taking care of yourself can bring a big change in your life. It can transform you to another personality. 15 years back, I come from spiritual background, and 15 years back, it was my inner desire that I want to bring smile on people's face. But how will I do it? So I was always searching for that. And when I started studying about nutrition science, I started losing my weight in my own kitchen. I started helping my friends. One of my friends was trying to conceive, and from past 3 years, and she comes to me and she was shocked that I have lost weight. I started helping her. So that smile on her face when she lost 10 kg, there I found my passion, which I was always looking for. Purpose found passion. And that's how the company was born, Get Fit with Minaliji. When I realized self-care is not selfish, I was able to help 200 plus people in their fat loss journey, making them aware about who they are. So we often say we help you to discover food guru in you because you become more conscious. You start taking care of yourself. As I told you, you can't pour from empty cup. So these are the people who are not only taking care of themselves in this journey, but they have started taking care of their own family. And I see that smile on their face. To give you a small example, I often meet many people in this journey, and they are stuck somewhere. They have lost the self-awareness and they have given up, they can't lose weight. So this lady never liked workout. And we tried encouraging her, motivating her, but she always failed. So when we started going in depth, what's stopping her, we realized that during her childhood days, she was a great dancer. So what we did, we encouraged her to start dancing. Can you imagine dancing and diet combo? Dancing, when she started, she was not able to for 3 days. She said, how can I close my room, Minali? I'm 40 years old woman. We encouraged her. She started doing that small practice. You know what happened? She forgot she is losing weight. She started enjoying those old days, that smile on her face. The inner child in her was awakened. She started loving her journey. By doing a small act of self care, as I told, you can change your life. Often I meet very busy people who say, I don't have time, and they are under guilt trip that they are not giving sufficient time to their kids. So, what they do? They give them a mobile and a plate of junk food. That's a guilt trip. To compensate that guilt trip, they do this, but they don't realize they are duplicating their own kids. When I was a kid, my parents thought, oh, we never had juices, ready-made juices. Let my daughter enjoy the juices. So whenever I was bored, I used to enjoy the ready-made processed juices. That was a reward. I continued that. I ended up in gaining weight. I destroyed my lifestyle. I was without any hobbies. Are we duplicating the same thing on our kids? Thought-provoking question, right? Often ladies say, I go out for shopping. That's a self-care I do. No, my dear, that's not a my time. That's not a self-care. You have to find out me time, introspect, understand your capabilities, potential, and start understanding about yourself, your own strength, your weaknesses, and see where you can go. That's me time. Shopping is not a me time. There are 6 pillars which I'm going to talk about how one can take a self-care. One is financially. Make your own budget, ensure you're spending in a right place, and enjoy the financial freedom so you get more security. Be an independent woman who knows her financial planning. Second, spiritual. In a spiritual way, you can start taking care of yourself. How? Find a purpose of your life. Once you have a purpose, you will start understanding where you are today. Don't go with the flow. This is not a life to just, follow the routine, get up, go office, eat, sleep. Your each day has to be a fun filled. Each day has to be, it should be like a new day with full of loads of surprises. Make it a beautiful day. Next is emotional. It is okay to cry. It is okay to become upset. It's okay to get discouraged because that's an indication your body is giving you shift your mindset. So whenever you come across any emotional imbalance, understand and use that as a fuel to jump to the next stage. It's your body indicating you it's time for you to change your life. Next is social. Join a social networking group. Often they say social network is your network is your net worth. So join in with a woman of social network. They are mentors. They are the real heroes, women empowering women. They'll help you, guide you, encourage you. So be that. Next is environmental. It's okay to clean your house, your kitchen. That's a day-to-day routine. But how about environment? We live in a planet, but we are not bothered. So start participating in those projects. Once you add value to the society, you will start getting those positive thoughts. You will find that you are worth. You're worth enough in your life. So start participating. And next is physical. How physical can help? Physical, do yoga, dance, aerobic, Zumba, eat right, take care of your body. Physically, you can become more aware what's on your plate. There is no food is bad or good. It's all about what suits you. Often we start competing with others. If we understand what are my capacities, potential, and we make our own goal, it will become an effortless journey. It will no more be a painful journey, and you will not have any reasons of saying no time for me. Also, I often see people, they run behind success, growth, career. A lot of competition, no time, completely busy. But my dear friends, the foundation of all this is your health. If health is not taken care, you have to pay the fine in the form of medical bills. So, my small request to all of you, I know all of you make your to-do list. First number in your to-do list should be you. Yes, you. And then rest all will fall on its own place. In 2000, in the year 2000, there was study conducted. Senior citizens were made to practice self-care and there was drastic change in their health. Imagine if from today onwards, from in our young age, we start taking off our own health. Imagine how our life will be. So I'm sure this talk has made a small change in your life. You can follow any one pillar and make a big difference in your life. Thank you. Over to you, Ms. Priya.
Thank you so much, Minali. It takes a bit to talk about something that was not good about you and how you have achieved the success. And grateful to you for making this effort, because I think what difference you made for yourself to share all those learnings with many one of us who maybe are still struggling in the belief that we need to take care of ourselves, but very rightly said. And I think you spoke really well. So God bless you. And on behalf of the Women Economic Forum, we would like to award you with the Exceptional Leader of Excellence. So wish you the very, very best in all your endeavors and efforts, and take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Giovanna is going to speak to us on business ethics, a key factor in corporate success. She's a trainer, and she would be spending the next 15 minutes to speak to us on something which is very live and relevant to each one of us in the corporate phase. So over to you, Giovanna. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that introduction. And it is my pleasure to be here with you. And I want to say and express my gratitude for the people who put this all together. It has been an amazing opportunity that we can unite, and even through Zoom, we can feel that energy and power and love and the connection between us. And I don't have a doubt that we are people with a special calling and purpose. And I want to start my topic. And I want that you think in the moment that you are in your business right now. I want that you think in your goals and the objectives and the things that you accomplish. And I think in this time of the year is a time to reflect on the things that it's past and the things that is coming for a new year. Go ahead, think that and put it in your mind at this moment. And I want that you put your imagination to work. And starting right now, vision yourself in 5 to 10 years from now. I want that you put that in your mind. Just look for the goals, objectives that you are starting at the beginning of the year, and for next year, 5 years, 10 years, how that it look like. Did you like what you're seeing right now? Is everything as you want it to be? What do you want to change, or what do you want to improve? Whatever your answer is, it is always a room to improve and change. And let's do it today. You could do it. You can go to the next higher level when you're making changes. I am so excited to refresh about an important key. Usually a key is made for a specific task. You know, a key is made to open a specific lock or door. But there is one key that could open all of it. And we call that the master key. And I want to talk about one of the master keys in business called ethics. Ethics, a key factor in a corporate success. I don't have a doubt of that. Let's define ethics. For most people, they can have different opinions on that. In my opinion, ethics are the moral beliefs that guide us, the values, behavior, and decision in business and as an individuals. Most people might not give much thought to the importance of ethics. It's not only the desire to do right or to do things in the right way. It's more than that. It's making decisions, making those moral decisions, if we want to put it in the ethics context, making those judgment calls that can major impact our lives as well our business success in many ways. Even if you had a wonderful product, the most innovative product, a wonderful service, or you could be have a wonderful ideas, but if your ethics are questionable, it might not even matter that you had the best. Business ethics differ from industry to industry, from nation to nation, but I don't want to talk deep on that. I want to concentrate on the basics, on the general concept of ethics that could apply to all industries. There are several reasons on why is ethics a key of success for a company. And I would like to mention two of those. The one is business ethics help us to build a reputation. When you heard the word build, you can say, oh, it's going to take so much time. And yes, you're right. If you think of that, you are right. It could be takes years and years of efforts to build a good reputation. And sometimes it takes all our life to build that on us as a person and as a company. And I want to quote a words from one of the most successful investors in the whole world. His name is Warren Buffett. That he says, it takes 20 years to build a good reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you will do things differently. End of quote. This words has a lot of truth. It's really applied in real life. It takes us forever to build a good report, and we can make destroy it and ruin it in 5 minutes. Business ethics help us to ensure that good reputation for your company and for my company. To have a reputation for constantly being ethical in all areas. Is starting from you create your company, starting from when you build a product or when you put together a system or a program, or when you train, or the way that you train your employees, your customers, even your community. When people see that you constantly being ethical in everything that you do, they want to do business with you. Reputation is an intangible asset for your company. I just want to tell you a story as a personal story. I remember when I started my business. One of the first things that I did is to get the education that I need for my business. So doing and getting that education, there are things that doesn't sound so right to my mind. There's something that is not clicking very well, and I don't feel comfortable with it. So I take those things and I made a lot of complaints about it, and I took it to the table in my home. And one day my son said to me, tired of hearing my complaints, and he says, Mom, learn what do you need to learn. When you create and open your own business, you will apply whatever you want, and whatever you don't want to apply in your own business is going to be your call. Oh, wow, that words is starting sounding so big in my mind. And I say, wow, he is so right. I am going to learn what they do so I don't get to do it. And that's the way that I feel. And I thought that maybe that kind of action or that kind of decision is going to impact in my profits. And not, absolutely not. At the end of the day, I want to sleep in peace. I want to do what is right. I want to really feel comfortable in what I'm doing in my business and what I'm doing for others. So that's starting not during your business, that's starting before you do your business. The second part that I want to mention, that's that business ethics help us to maintain you on the top. Getting the success could be last only for one day and could be easy for some, but stay in that place. That's what the hard thing is. You want to be the leader company. You want to be and have the leader product. You want to be the leader. A leader lead by example. When people see that you do ethical choices, you are building trust. People is going to start feeling confidence with you and of course with your company. And those actions that bring so much energy to your company and another results. You can see when you had a higher standards and a higher ethics, people start increasing, or the employee wants to work for you. So you can have more employee retention, loyalty. You can improve the productivity, the quality. Employees really, when they see that the corporation that they work, or for the company, or for the people that they work with, that demands a higher standards of business ethics, they're going to start acting the same. They want to perform their job in a higher level as well. Motivated, business ethics motivate people to do teamwork. And here again, this is another aspect that is going to affect our budgets. Ethics minimize cost and lead to substantial growth and sales. The ethical operation of a company is directly related to profitability, could be in short or long term. This is a very passionate topic to me. I really believe that when we choose the right things for us and for our company as well, we can have so much prosperity. As a conclusion, if you want your business to be a real success for a long term, make ethical decisions at all levels in your company, in your personal life, because you cannot separate yourself from your company. You cannot be one person in here and another in your company. That's come together. And you're going to see the results. You're going to bring more growth to your company, a bigger profits to your company, and a stronger relationships. My services, my calling and my company is to really stronger relationships with others. And working with people is hard, but it brings so much benefits in every aspect, in personal life and a business matter. And before I finish, I would like to mention one of my company ethics, and I want to share that with you. We always mention for the people who are starting doing business with us, we emphasize in this point. We says we conduct business and extremely moral and ethical, and we are blessed and rewarded for this. We will not associate with anyone that does not share the same business ethics. And once again, when we think about ethics, we have to think about the values of our corporation and the values that we have as an individuals. This come together. I really appreciate this time, and I hope that it's going to help you to grow in your business better and go to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Giovanna. I think what you spoke was just so relevant. Just to share about myself, I work with a company where I finished now 31 years. And the reason is because of business ethics, because I belong or I've been working for an organization which is well known in India. And we all believe in their code of conduct and their ethics. And that's where I feel so comfortable to have spent the last more than half of my life with the organization. And it's the same which goes with all stakeholders that we work with, it be our customers, be our vendors, and everybody feels like they want to work with us because we are an ethical company. So very, very relevant to what you said. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your efforts. And on behalf of the Women Economic Forum, I'd like to present you with the award of an excellence in your leadership. And thank you so much. And we will be sending that to you soon.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good evening, good day, good morning across the world. Welcome to the AWEF show today. On this session, I have with me a lady of eminence, a woman of substance. The subject is very interesting. It is victim to warrior mindset and a roadmap to a life of fulfillment. I think that is saying many things to many people, because all of us want to lead a life of fulfillment. And if that is possible by not looking ourselves as victims of circumstances or situations, but to see how to fight and get out and win, here is your answer. The answer is in the form of this dynamic lady called Vidya Muralidharan. She has been an HR professional in the corporate for a long time. And then she is now an Audi consultant and coach. And she consults and works on her own and provides such insights to life which will be useful for people to win life and enjoy it towards a state of fulfillment. Welcome, Vidya, to this evening. The floor is yours, the screen is yours, and the digital media is open for you across the world.
Thank you, Mr. Ravishankar. Thank you for that very gracious introduction. And good day to all of you out there, different parts of the world. It is always a pleasure to be associated with all, and AWEF in particular. It's really a privilege for me to be speaking on this platform. I will structure this brief talk of mine in three parts. I will first talk about the genesis of what triggered me to launch this program, Victim to Warrior Mindset. We'll talk about who is it targeted at and what can you expect to get from it. And finally, also I will also share my mail ID and number for any of you who might want to reach me. I'll also indicate how is it that you can access it. So one of the things that I've always wanted to do over the years is to make an impact on lives. I think in different forms, I was doing it during my career as an HR professional for 25 years. But I think in my second career, I'm able to do that more impactfully. And that's what makes it really exciting and satisfying for me. So I have set myself a target of 1 million lives to be impacted. It's not necessarily only women, but the reason I've targeted this program at women is that I can relate a lot of and sort of bring in insights from my own life experiences. But I think going forward, I'm not going to restrict it to women, but for now, it is targeted at women. And another trigger for this program was, as I was looking back on some life-changing incidents in my life, I found that every time there was a crisis, there was some adversity that hit me, there was something in me that sort of came alive. And that's really what has become kind of a signature. People who know me kind of always say that I'm a fighter, including, dealing with something like cancer and being a cancer survivor myself. I've had health setbacks. I've had a lot of financial setbacks that we've dealt with while I was trying to support my husband as an entrepreneur. We've had, of course, the regular issues that people go through in life as well. But I think, to say the least, life has been quite eventful. So I found that every time something like this happened, it's not that just like that with a flip of a switch, you can simply turn things around. It doesn't happen like that. Definitely, I did find myself feeling a victim of circumstances. So that's where the word victim is really a mindset where you feel completely overwhelmed and you don't know what to do, and you feel that you're just helpless and you have to just kind of wait for things to change, and you're not at your more effective best. Everything around you therefore gets impacted, and as you're getting into this mode, you also somehow strangely attract more problems into your life, and so on. As they say, misfortunes come in pairs. So I have been in such situations, but the thing with me is I've always tried to quickly come out of it and looked out for things, some techniques, something that would work for me, some practice that would work for me. And of course, there have been people along the way who have supported me. Without it, I don't think I would be even sitting here and talking. But then when I look back and I said, I had to sort of meander around and find out these things. What if I could offer something as a package to people, to women who find themselves a victim of circumstances, so that they can start adopting these practices early on and maybe make that transition to what I call a warrior mindset, basically a winning mindset, more easily and quickly. So that's how this program, the idea for this program originated, and things came together. And I have someone who has offered this platform called Learn and Inspire. So I was able to launch it. In terms of who am I targeting, there are women who go through very, very serious trauma in life. I'm not sure whether this program can address all of that. They may need deeper help. But all of us in general who find ourselves in circumstances where we don't know how to come out of things. It can be something as simple as I won't say simple, it can be like a health setback. It could be that you've given up your career and you've lost that sense of identity. I find when I'm talking to women, I do coaching, I find a lot of women are struggling with this, and they want to get back, they're ready to get back, they're diffident, they don't know how to get started, they've lost that confidence in self, those kind of, and then in general, society and as a reflection of it, family, I do find that the odds are stacked against women. I'm not saying everybody out there is evil, but there are lots more expectations out of women, and I think lesser support coming your way. So you really have to fend for yourself. And therefore, this is targeted at women, and particularly mid-career, midlife women, because that's where I find a lot of the angst seems to peak. Because you're probably finding that if you already have a career, then you're finding that the responsibilities at home and in career are peaking, and you don't know how to handle these two. Or if you have given up your career, then you've reached the stage where you'd really start questioning what's your identity. And so primarily targeted at this, though I have found that some younger women also find these things useful and are looking for something like this. In terms of how can you access this? So this is offered through a platform called Learn and Inspire. And it is it's actually a blended learning module. It consists of 7 it's a blended learning program. It consists of 7 modules. And in between, after every second module, I also do a virtual session live. And the purpose of that session is primarily to address questions, to listen to your introspection and experiences, because this entire program is practice-based. It borrows techniques from NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, from positive psychology. And I have used case studies of women, the common women. If I see that common women is a word that's going around here. And so it's not women who are necessarily celebrities, but women like you and me who have made the transition, who have been through certain situations. So I interweave that with certain techniques. So the techniques need to be practiced. So that's the important thing. And therefore the program is simple, but it can be very intense. So what I have also done is to help people get to that, because 7 modules at a stretch sometimes can be daunting for people. I do offer, as a primer of sorts, I do 2-hour sessions, typically over 2 consecutive Saturdays, where that's a live virtual session, where again, I do offer some little practice techniques, and we get to discuss and introspect on certain aspects. People can share their own journey. They can share their own, whatever's happening in their life, to the extent that they want to, and then go back, take that and practice a little. It kind of preps you up for something that's a little deeper, a little more intense. The entire journey, it is a journey. It's not something that can happen overnight, but the entire purpose is to change your perspective. Mind you, I'm not for a minute wishing away any of the circumstances that we find ourselves in. I'm not even pretending that these things can be easily dealt with just because we give you this magic formula. It's really a process of picking up certain techniques and continuously practicing them and practicing them and practicing them until they become kind of second nature to us. That's what I bring to bear in this program, because that's really what I have found has worked for me all through my life and continues to work for me in my journey. So I'm going to be putting my phone number and my email ID in the chat window. Any of you who would like to reach out can WhatsApp me on this number, or can mail me asking questions, expressing interest, whatever.
Brilliant. We still have a couple of questions that I'm going to put across.
Sure.
You have 3 more minutes in which you could really elaborate whatever you wish to.
Yeah.
So I'm summarizing. Your target group is people who are in midlife or mid-career. However, there are also outliers. Younger people also benefit by this.
Sure.
And basically, you're addressing the issue of those who are, in conflict between home versus career versus personal identity issues, right? And
also sometimes deeper issues like not getting enough support from a partner,
sure,
spouse, and family,
sure,
health
sure,
setbacks, all of those.
Sure. So home could be home management to support, to family, to self, to whether, as you rightly said, a health issue or something financial issue. It could be any of these things that relate to the person. Home, career, identity, and a conflict between all of this, whether you are pursuing a professional career or working or in business or at a stage in life where the children still need some support, but they're out of control, let us say, that itself can be. So there are very many things to what a woman undergoes and goes through and manages and is responsible for.
Sure.
And to an extent, you did say that, expectations are very high out of women. Just because of the gender. And I did sense that is not fair. And you are trying to tell them, okay, don't fight whether it's fair or not. There is a way to cope and come out winning.
Yes, absolutely.
And this 7-module program that you offer is an online program.
Yes, it's blended learning, actually.
Blended learning.
Yeah.
And therefore, I urge all of you who are seeing it live streamed on YouTube or Facebook, and those who will see the recorded version as it is posted and all of it, to keep coming back here, because these are questions everybody has in their mind at some time or the other. So the person to reach is Vidya Muralidharan. Okay. On that note, I would like to ask you if you have something more you would wish to add, please.
Something more that I wish to add? If you want a specific question, then I can.
But my question would be that how do you unfreeze them, anybody who approaches you? First of all, approaching itself takes a lot of internally, they have questioned many things and then they have approached you. And then they are not able to articulate what their actual problems are. How will you handle that?
That's why I'm encouraging people to reach out to me on email or WhatsApp. And with some people, I have had one-on-one conversations.
Right.
Yeah, so those conversations are free. There is no charge. There is a nominal charge for the course per se, but because I am a life coach, so I do have a conversation with them, try to understand the details of what is it they're looking for and how the course might or might not be relevant. And some cases I also tell them, maybe you're looking for something else, this is really not it. And the primer that I have introduced actually came in later, because I found that sometimes for people to straight away get into those 7 modules and practice some of the techniques is a little daunting and they find it very intense. So the primer is something that also preps them for the journey. The main thing is getting prepped for the journey, really.
Sure. And you said it. It is simple but intense, and practice, and you have to own up to it.
Yes.
At the core. Great, Vidya. It's very short and crisp, and you made an impact on what you bring to the table to people. I'm sure lots will be interested.
Thank you.
On behalf of Women Economic Forum, the global digital platform of 2021, hosted out of Bangalore. Women Economic Forum is honored that you are here. You spent this time and shared your experiences. And you have a lifetime and a body of work and personal experiences to go to boot. WEF, Women Economic Forum, honors you with this award of Exceptional Leader of Excellence.
Thank you.
Awarded digitally. And it will be emailed to you within 2 weeks.
Thank you very much. Truly honored.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to anchor your program. Have a good day, and may the warrior mindset envelop all women, and start thinking about men too.
I too hope. Yes, I will. Sure.
Okay. Are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
Yep.
Just a second. It's fine.
I think there is a echo on the system.
Remove করে দিল আমাকে, এত আওয়াজ হচ্ছে দেখে। You've been removed.
এটা আমাদের না, আমরা বন্ধ করে দিয়েছি।
কোথেকে তো আওয়াজ হচ্ছিল?
না, আমাদের যেন হচ্ছে না।
You are live, Shruti, and I can follow Bengali.
Okay.
You're live. You'll go on stream now.
Just a second. I'm still not able to.
This is fine. I think we can hear you. I don't think there is an echo. So the recording is starting now. Okay.
Am I visible?
You are very much visible. You're very much visible. Good evening, good morning to everyone else across the world, whoever is on YouTube and Facebook and seeing this live streamed. Welcoming Shruti Mitra. Shruti, multifaceted personality. She is the CEO of NHEA Private Limited, she's a healthcare and educational background as a professional. She's also taught in Symbiosis, which is a university, private deemed university in India. or deemed to be private university. I don't know the current terminologies that goes around privatization of universities. Therefore, in academic as well as in corporate. And welcome, Shruti, to speak on a fabulous subject. So I don't want to repeat the subject. You are going to state the subject, and you are going to talk about for the next 10 minutes, I would say, because we have eaten up 5 minutes on connectivity. We've got 10 minutes, and you will give me 1 minute. I will rob you of the last 1 minute to do the closure announcements. So here you go, Shruti Mitra, speaking on a very, very, very nice subject, fragrances. Please, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you for making me participate in this World Economic Forum and giving this opportunity. I'll be speaking on flower power, the aroma science, as my industry is, is aromatherapy industry. So, okay. If we talk about the particular line, and the leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nations. So this particularly epitomizes none other than the essential oils. So welcome to the world of essential oil. The fact is, essential oil can soothe inflammation, it can boost mood, it prevents autoimmunity, and also it heals all kinds of diseases. Now, what are essential oils? It's a very interesting thing. We'll talk about that. So essential oils are highly concentrated plant-based chemical compounds extracted directly from the bark, flowers, leaves, resins, and roots of plants. They're used in the alternative medicine of aromatherapy, pharmacology, Indian Ayurveda, and house cleaning. Now, essential oils, they have been used throughout history in many cultures for their medicinal and therapeutic benefits. And this knowledge is also still widely used today. Like the modern scientific studies and trends, they lean again towards more holistic approaches to wellness and a revival of essential oils for physical and psychological health and well-being applications. Now, why does a plant invest so much energy to produce its essential oils in the first place? That can be a very intriguing question, basically. The reasons which have been found out by the scientists is that the internal biochemistry of plants is what keeps them alive. It also protects them from diseases, heals them from where they are harmed by predators or struggle with environmental challenges. It also helps in plant pollination. So these are basically the plant medicine in their purest form, because this thing it's there in the plant and is then carried, when it's extracted, it can be used for a therapeutic benefits. Now, how are they manufactured? Essential oils are basically, the most common method is a steam distillation. It's a common method. There are other methods like cold pressing of materials or solvent extraction. Now, how does this essential oil work? So what are their applications basically? Coming to it, now we talk about the power of the flowers basically. It's aromatherapy is the most common method, which is basically the inhalation method. Like you basically inhale the aroma of the plant extracts. So they are very common methods you can use through in a handkerchief, or you can take from the steam, or you can also use through different kinds of diffusers. I think many people throughout the world, they're using through reed diffuser, through oil burners, through different kinds of electrical diffusers also. Now, how this essential oil works, that's a very, very interesting thing, how it gives this therapeutic benefits. So when we inhale an essential oil, the aromatic molecules enter our body via the nasal passages and our two olfactory lobes, one for each part of the brain, and travel to and basically stimulate areas of our limbic system. And this is a limbic system of the brain, which is a part of the brain that plays a role in emotions, behaviors, sense of smell, and long-term memory. So interestingly, this limbic system is heavily involved in forming memories. This can partly actually explain why familiar smells can trigger memories or emotions. So we are talking about the science of aromatherapy, why it actually impacts the physical well-being as well as different kinds of therapeutic benefits. Now, this limbic system also plays a role in controlling several unconscious physiological functions. such as the breathing, heart rate, the blood pressure. As such, some people claim that essential oils can exert a physical effect on your body also. But there are still, it is a lot of research has to be done, and a lot of confirmation has to be still be done in studies. Now, while application to the skin, how it works. When you massage into the skin, essential oils actually absorb quickly. The aromatic molecules enter our body, allowing their natural healing properties to do their work. So it can be used as a bath oil, it can be used as a face oil, it can be used for massage purposes. So that is the way the chemical thing works, and it also depends on what kind of heat is applied to them or which part of the body it is being used. It actually depends on that also. So we're talking about essential oils. So what are the therapeutic benefits of essential oils? Essential oils are for, a lot of common ailments. The list is exhaustive, like the acne, blackheads, blemishes, age spots, wrinkles, arthritis, joint pains, all kinds of pains, headaches, cold and flu, nausea, massage, psoriasis, chakra balancing, sleep, insomnia, allergies, anti-stress, laundry, cleaning. The list is exhaustive, basically. The popular essential oils for these therapeutic benefits are lavender, peppermint, frankincense, tea tree, chamomile, geranium, eucalyptus, lemon. Again, there's more than 150 essential oils which are commonly used by people all around the world. Like lavender will be alleviating stress, anxiety. At the same time, it is good for bruises and stretch marks. Peppermint basically helps in nausea, vertigo, exhaustion, and also it's good for headaches. Frankincense for immune system, stimulation to help with asthma, coughing, bronchitis. Tea tree oil is very, very good for disinfecting purpose. It's good for skin blemishes and acne. Chamomile is for immunity boosting. Geranium and eucalyptus, it can antimicrobial benefits. Lemon is for protection against cold. So basically, essential oils can be used in a single form also, and it is generally used as blends, essential oil blends. Now, why somebody will use essential oil blends and why it is being widely used? So we, NIA Private Limited, we are using a lot of essential oil blends, and we are a lot of innovative things we have come up with. So let me just explain why there are essential oil blends, whether they're good or what are the disadvantages.
Shruti,
Now,
you have 2 minutes to go. Okay. So want to plug in on NIA, the products, how it can be accessed. This would be a good time to do that.
Okay, yeah. So the blends can be used in complementary purposes. And again, as I said, essential oils has to be safe. There are a lot of safety measures how to use the essential oils. So that may discuss. Now, coming to the aromatherapy market and where NIA Private Limited actually fares into, we have a lot of essential oils which are into, face oil, which is for anti-aging. We have roll-on, this is NIA Pain Relief Roll-on. There are acne care. There are a lot of single essential oils. We are available on Amazon. We are on Flipkart. We are physically distributing, and we can a lot of other e-commerce platforms. Definitely I might share my NIA, www.nia.in is the website. We have a social media where NIA Care is the Instagram channel, and there's WhatsApp channels also. So please, I would request to come to this magic of aroma, magic of essential oils. Do visit our website, buy our products, and get the full therapeutic benefits of essential oils. Thank you so much.
Shruti Mitra, it's been a pleasure hearing you. You have taken us to not view flowers as merely for decorative value, but how human life can be enhanced, whether through aromatherapy or by the use of these essential oils, which comes out of them. So you have truly tried to show us flower power. So great to hear this. As we come to the close, Women Economic Forum would like to announce 2 things. One, it's been an honor and a pleasure for Women Economic Forum to have women of substance like you. More power to you and more flowers to you.
Thank you.
WEF 2021, which is a global digital platform hosted out of Bangalore. This particular event. On behalf of WEF, I'm happy and honored to announce the award which is there for all exceptional leaders of excellence. This is for the entire lifetime body of work in various aspects that you have done. So Shutri Mitra, WEF confers on you the Exceptional Leader of Excellence Award. This is a digital award. It should come to you by email within 2 weeks.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Very interesting. Please plug in your NIA, your products, your websites, where it is available, how it is sold into the WEF channels, which are all there. Look at Shikonomy, which is also a great platform, and I'm sure you will enjoy, because I can see the smile in you when you talk about it. You really are enjoying what you do. Thank you.
Thanks. No, you.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Absolutely. Bye-bye. And you have taken a very strong, very relevant, very topical subject. Hope, resilience, and healing in COVID. We are, as we go live on this subject of hope, resilience, and healing in COVID era, which is what everybody in the world is talking about, looking forward to manage what is happening around us and get on with their lives in a better way. Let me present to the audience on YouTube, Facebook, and all live streaming here, Veronica Portugal, multifaceted personality, CEO and founder of Pedia Civica. Is it right? It's a non-organization which is doing capacity building in civil society. She has also been she's also been involved in very many activities. I will quickly touch upon that. She's a political science graduate, also an economics degree holder. She's a fellow of the Young Leader of Americas, which is a US State Department of State program. She has been summit speakers in global events in Lima, Peru, for the Organization of American States. The subject was anti-corruption, if I'm not mistaken. You spoke about corruption, anti-corruption. She is no stranger to India. She has participated in the Asian Forum of Global Governance in India. So welcome, Veronica, once again. I'm going to leave the stage all over to you. Explain further in detail about what you do and what is it that you offer as a message to the world on hope, resilience, and healing in COVID era.
Thank you for that welcome and that generous presentation. I am also to India. I'm so sad that you are not there right now to taste all the delicious food that you have and all the things that you have to offer. But soon I will be back.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. And I'm sure India will be very welcoming and looking forward to it. Please carry on, Veronica. I'm going to mute myself.
Yeah, okay. So I am an economist, as you already mentioned. So I will talk about some policies regarding the recovery and resilience. First, as you already know, the COVID-19 crisis has been a very different crisis from those that humanity has experienced for many reasons. This began as a health crisis that was aggravated by isolation and containment measures to prevent infections. The health and economic crisis accentuated existing structural failures and inequalities. However, crises are also opportunities, no matter how hard it sounds. The economic depressions are also opportunities for innovation and destructive creation. It is needed a new deal for the recovery, but let's remember that the original New Deal was not about public spending. It was also about restoring safe investment, long-term opportunities. Government power lies not just in spending, but in helping businesses overcome risk aversion and find new opportunities for growth. The way in which recovery will take place is currently being debated. The more optimistic versions stipulate that recovery will be V-shaped, and the more pessimistic that it will have an L shape. But while others debate whether recovery will be a W. So whatever the form of the recovery, I want to focus on mentioning policy measures to achieve resilience, recovery, and healing. And some of them appear in various OECD working papers. I will mention the working papers, such as Going for Growth 2021, Shaping a Vibrant Recovery. The Missing Entrepreneurs 2021, Policies for Inclusive Entrepreneurship and Self-Employment. And also it's important to mention one article for the World Economic Forum, The future of work is here, 5 ways to reset our markets after coronavirus recovery. So the long-awaited recovery depends on measures that must be taken domestically by the authorities, but also measures that have to do with international cooperation and multilateralism. The ultimate goal of the policies to recover is create more quality jobs, but some structural reforms are necessary to avoid future pandemics. I could list those measures in a total of 4. The first one is building resilience and sustainability. The second one is facilitating relocation and boosting productivity growth. The third is supporting people through transitions. And the fourth is international cooperation. I am going to go deeper with building resilience and sustainability. This is the capacity to detect and avoid risk, reduce the negative impacts of shocks when they materialize, and recover faster and stronger. This set of policies includes reforms in sectors such as healthcare, where the challenge is to avoid shortages in the number of health workers, avoid out-of-pocket expenses that lead to poverty. Also, it's important to mention the prevention of chronic degenerative diseases that increase mortality, as well as risk factors such as smoking, drinking, obesity, and malnutrition. Further, to say is that are needed safety nets that avoid poverty. Paid workers in informal and standard jobs often have less or no access to existing social protection. In addition, temporary workers, self-employed workers in small firms and women are more exposed to shocks. Specifically, women are more likely to be part of non-standard work contracts. Equally important is to addressing environmental challenges. Recovery presents an opportunity to put growth on a more sustainable path and to accelerate a green transition environment. Beyond establishing effective environmental policy signals, policymakers should be mindful of the 3 considerations as they attempt to engineer a green recovery and transition over the longer term. The first is the impact of policy decisions on relocation. The second one is the importance to have complementary policies, and also the need to design policy packages to ensure their public acceptability. Furthermore, enhancing trust and credibility with public governance and rule of law is very valuable to implement, since emerging research suggests that areas with high trust in public authorities had better compliance with the stay-at-home restrictions during the pandemic. Moreover, public sector efficiency, rule of law, and good governance are key determinants of confidence in public institutions, with important implications for productivity and public support for the success of reforms. On average, more than 1/3 of the resources spent on creating and maintaining public infrastructure is lost due to inefficiency, and better governance could make up half of the efficiency losses. Also, working towards improving basic infrastructure such as electricity, water, and sanitation is needed to achieve SDGs and leave no one behind. And finally, housing policy reforms that remove barriers to geographic or job mobility can mitigate the scaring effects of the recession. Overcrowding housing can undermine the effectiveness of self-isolation protocols, online schooling, and working from home. The second set of measures is the facilitated relocation and boosting productivity growth. This means removing policy barriers where they exist for firms to become more dynamic, innovative, and greener, thereby facilitating the relocation of resources. The third set of policies is supporting people through transitions. Policies should ensure that people are not left behind in transitions, so relocation is socially productive and builds resilience. This requires investment in skills, training, and easing access to quality jobs, particularly amongst vulnerable groups. And the fourth fourth set of measures is international cooperation. Domestic policy responses to massive global health challenges, as demonstrated with COVID-19, can benefit from international cooperation on containing the spread across borders, improving the resilience of healthcare systems, harnessing the spillover for R&D, and coordination on the distribution of medical materials, equipment, and vaccines. Important to mention is climate change that needs international cooperation. Past experience shows that economic recoveries has been associated with recoveries in emissions. Significant actions are required as part of the stimulus and recovery packages to achieve a fall in emissions as economies recover. Also, international trade. The pandemic has shown the independence of our economies and the reliance on global markets and supply chains to absorb and react to shocks and to generate the economies of scales necessary to satisfy the global demand for essential goods. Policy coherence, transparency, and information sharing on market conditions and policy are key ingredients in keeping trade flowing and helping firms manage the risk along their value chains in a predictable policy environment. And finally, is taxation of multinational enterprises, addressing the tax challenges of the digitalization of the economy. Globalization and digitalization have highlighted weaknesses in the international corporate income taxation rules. So efficient international cooperation in this area can help secure budgetary revenues and thereby helping to restore fiscal sustainability after the crisis. So there is a lot to do, but I tried to do a comprehensive speech about all the things that are necessary for the recovery. Some of these measures and the first to avoid future pandemics. So the vulnerable groups cannot suffer the most the consequences of them. Important to mention that also it's important to foster entrepreneurship and pay attention to women and children and young people entering the job markets. So I don't know if you have more comments, Ravi. Yeah, well, I think that we lost the connection with him. But my time is off, right? It's already over. Okay, so since I have like 3 minutes more, I would like to also to mention that identifying the jobs of tomorrow is necessary. The World Economic Forum stipulates that the jobs of tomorrow are the professions that care for people, support the planet, manage new technologies, and communicate products and services. So in summary are care economy, green development, sales, marketing, and content. Also, the lockdown has seen wide-scale remote working, increasing automation, a global revaluation of the core economy, and a visible lack of social protection within the gig economy. So as I mentioned before, it's important to pay attention to young people entering the job market in recession, because usually they are initial labor markets effect on them, and it is needed 10 or 15 years to recover from these effects in the labor markets.
Veronica, I know you can go on and everybody can listen for, it's a hot topic. Constraints of time says that we have to do the conclusion now. So will you wrap up with a message to the audience so that, and then I will announce the closure. What is the one you want to give?
The conclusion of this is that, well, some policies are part of the government, but also us as society and also as entrepreneurs, we can do many things. We can, as entrepreneurs, we can work in the transition also to pay attention in vulnerable groups, to give jobs to women, and to young people entering the labor markets. Also, we can innovate in our organizations, and also advocate with our domestic governments and also in the international organizations to do all the framework to avoid future pandemics and to be more prepared for further crises.
So what you are saying, it starts from us as individuals and our corporates, and we don't, and as civil society, we need not wait for only the government to act. Fantastic. Beautifully put. Great, Veronica. Women Economic Forum is honored with your presence, the subject that you have taken up and the way you presented it. Thank you so much on behalf of everyone across this entire organization and the audience around. As a conclusion, Women Economic Forum, the Global Digital Annual 2021 WEF, which is what this is called. WEF is honored to present you with an award. This award is an award given for exceptional leaders of excellence. That award is conferred on you, Veronica, Portugal, and this is a digital award, and you will receive it by email within 2 weeks. Thank you so much for a wonderful discussion in the morning in Portugal and in the evening in India, and in between these two times everywhere else in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ravi, for hosting us, and it's a pleasure to be with you. So my heart is with India. So,
sure. And we shall meet again soon, whenever you be at the world,
yes,
with your
hopefully.
initiatives. Sure, of course.
Hopefully.
Hey,
Hot
bye-bye. Bye-bye. Auf Wiedersehen. Yes. Good morning, good evening, folks from across the world and watching live. Good morning, good evening, folks, all over the world watching on YouTube and Facebook and on the WEF platform. It's my pleasure to announce that this session, which is how to adopt holistic mindset to reinvent our inner strengths, presented by a lady from Angola, Enolia Foti. Enolia is the founder, CEO of an organization called Expressions of Humanity Foundation. Enolia, can we start the session with you explaining what this organization is and what it does, and then take us through the rest of this program session of 12 minutes with you. I must add that Enolia enables high-profile people, from entrepreneurs and politicians and people in public offices, to reach out to their strengths. So here is a very high-powered lady who is going to help us reach out to our inner strengths and reinvent it. Thank you, Enolia. Over to you.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. I truly appreciate it. And Expressions of Humanity is the philanthropic side, as I am a social entrepreneur. And I find myself traveling all over the world, and there are projects. When you want to help and assist and work with others, you have to have a means, and Expressions of Humanity is that means to be able to express my humanity back to community. So I'll leave it at that. And I wanted to just take this time to acknowledge this particular topic, adopting a holistic mindset to reinvent your inner strengths. And the first thing I want to do is I want to break down what we mean by holistic. Now, if you look at the philosophy of it, it really means to characterize that the belief of the parts are all interconnected and can only reference the whole. If you look at it as an adjective and its definition, it's the sum of the parts equal the whole. Now, we talk about a holistic mindset. And in that regard, what we are talking about is that when we look at the world and when we look and navigate through life, we don't necessarily
always adapt a mindset that says, I am fully present. I am fully here. I am fully capable. So let's talk about that a little bit. You're saying, what does that mean? I mean, I'm a person, I'm an individual. Of course, I'm totally here. But the sum of the parts make up the whole. And what we need to look at is the mind, the body, and the spirit. When we find ourselves in trauma, and let's say we hurt ourselves physically, we break a leg. Well, the first thing that we want to do is we want to heal the leg. And we take that leg and we put it in the cast and we take care of it, and our attention is paid to the body. But what happened to the spirit and the mind? Are we treating that? So in that regard, we are not taking the total sum of all of the parts of who we are. So let's step back just for a moment and take a look at that. How many of us truly take a look at that spirit and then take a look at that mind, our thought process in regards to that spirit, and then take a look at how that mind process and that spirit connect together to impact the physical being? So I'm going to even invite you to do an exercise, which is I invite you to close your eyes for a moment and just take a deep breath in and out, and then peel off the layers. Peel off the layers that we constitute make up who we are. We peel off the dutiful daughter. We peel off the dutiful mother. We peel off the dutiful employee, contractor, whatever role it is you play, the son, the father. And what you have when you take off all of the roles is you have your spirit. You have who you are at the essence without the roles, without the things that define us of what we do, because what we do is not who we are. So when you peel back all of those roles and you come down to the essence of who you are, we are energy. We are the soul. We are the heart. And for me, when I do this activity, I am love. I am the foundation of love at the basis of my heart, my being, outside of the roles of what I do, such that I can look at the totality of me. I am that person that has love at the foundation of their heart, but has imperfections. And those imperfections might be that a different part of me shows up when I am in judgment. A different part of me shows up when I have to accept judgment. A different part of me shows up when I have to deal with physical distress or trauma. But it's still all me. So in accepting the totality of me, I peel back all of the roles, the responsibilities to look at who I am, the makeup of the aspects of me. And if I can define that who I am at the core of my being is love, is respect for myself, is understanding that I am worthy, and that I allow that to vibrate as me, then whatever role that I adapt, whatever role that I put on, the core of me vibrates through that role, vibrates through that responsibility, vibrates through who I am at the core of my being. So how do we reinvent our inner strengths? Well, the first part of this is recognizing your inner strengths, understanding that at the core of my being, I am love. Love is a strength. I have respect for myself. So therefore, I am a mirror to what I see. I have respect for others. My voice is worthy of being heard for myself. For therefore, when I present myself, my voice is worthy of being heard. That which we see ourselves is what we reflect. That which we understand and are comfortable and lay as a foundation of ourselves is what we reflect. So let's put on all of those roles right back on. We are the dutiful daughter. We are the dutiful mother. We are the father, the son. We have all of the roles. We have all of the things we do. When we reinvent and draw from our inner strengths, we understand that all of us, the totality of who we are, has to be present. And we do this full showing up by recognizing where we are vulnerable. I make this akin to being a lighthouse, first and foremost. Being that beacon of light and deciding that I'm going to shine no matter what takes place. That my role and my being and my presence of being here is to show up, to do what I do best, to do it at the best of my ability, and understand that no matter what part of me isn't in perfection, no matter what part of me wants to come through, that it is okay as long as I am fully present, and that all aspects of me make up this whole, and that I am capable and I can see as long as I acknowledge and know that in loving all parts of myself, I am bringing my best person forward. So adapting a holistic mindset means accepting the totality of who I am, what I am capable of, and bringing my best person forward. To draw and reinvent from my inner strengths means that I don't look through the veil of my failures. I don't look through the veil of my inadequacies. I don't look at the glass as half empty, but that I look at the glass as I am complete. And in being complete and in being the best version of myself, I am drawing from my strength. And all we can do as human beings is put our best person, the best version of ourselves forward. So if we step back and we release that which does not serve us, and we can acknowledge that which does not serve us, and we can understand that, oh yeah, when I get challenged too much, this is how I freeze. When I have to deal with having to step up to something, and I know that I have this fear, I just acknowledge that fear. I basically say, okay, I'm going to move through the story. And then I navigate in baby steps, and I move through the story of the fear that I have. And I draw from the best version, that inner strength, that inner core that says, I may be afraid, but I am capable. I may have challenges, and they may seem insurmountable, but I will take it one step at a time. See, every step that you take past your fears, every step that you take drawing from those inner strengths and moving past the story of what you're not capable of doing and what you can't do to what you can do, is the building block of understanding that everything that you are is capable, and that we do not have to adapt a story of insecurity or fear, but that we can lift the veil, see the totality of ourselves, and know that we, in the end, are always worthy. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much. And Mr. Ravi, I see that you're there. And I'll add this little piece to it also. If you do not dream a beautiful dream, you will allow yourself to be dreamt. Don't allow yourself to be dreamt. See the vision, hold that vision for yourself. And if you do, life becomes a walk to the vision and the beauty that you see for yourself within yourself.
Enelia Fati, it has been a revelation. This 10 minutes I have sat engrossed, muted, and without me showing expressions, just to absorb what you said. Truly wonderful. I'm sure all those who are viewing and who will view it again on YouTube, Facebook, will love every word of what you said, because this is about not the body alone, but including the mind and the spirit, and to peel off all the roles that we play to become the true core of what we are, and not to be afraid. We are humans, we will have fears, we'll have deficiencies, but not to be afraid of it.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. WEF, Women Economic Forum, is truly enriched by people like you participating in these events and giving such nuggets of good practical wisdom. As we come to the close of this session, Women Economic Forum, the annual global digital event that this is, 2021, hosted out of Bangalore, Women Economic Forum is honored and pleased to confer on you an award for exceptional leader of excellence in your field.
Thank you.
This is a digital award. It will reach you by mail in 2 weeks. You can download it, frame it up. But more importantly, it is an acknowledgement of a life of commitment and the passion with which you do what you are doing. Congratulations, Enelia. It's been an honor to meet you and interact with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Truly grateful.
By saying hello to Ifeoma Adizi. Have I pronounced you correctly, Ifeoma?
Yes, you did. Hi, Ravi.
Hi, how are you, Ife?
I am very fine, thank you.
The subject is fantastic, self-contemplation to energize and remain stronger. So I think it's a strong subject. It is a continuity of what we had in a different session on other subjects. Welcome, Ifeoma Adizi from Nigeria. Ife, as he is popularly known, is the Chief Commercial Officer at a company that manufactures Dulux paints. But that is not Ife, if I have to call it in a whole, that's only one part. She's also an entrepreneur, coach, and an author. She is actually the Uncommon Woman. The Uncommon Woman is the name of the book that Ife has authored. Of course, she has another book to her credit, Made for More. So we are asking Ife to give more this day at the Women Economic Forum's 2021 Annual Digital Conclave. And welcome, Ife. You are a lady of many parts, multidimensional, and you have chosen to speak on a subject which would be of interest to so many people who are watching live on Facebook and YouTube and so on and so forth. Over to you, Ife. You have 12 minutes, at the end of which I will interrupt and do the closing. So thank you, Ife. Welcome and honored to have you in the women.
Okay.
You're muted, Ify. Good to go.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, thank you very, very much for having me here at the Women Economic Forum. Really exciting. Thanks, Ravi. Apologies, I had a slight challenge with my video, so I had to switch systems, but it's all good. I think one thing that, so thank you for the kind introduction. As a career woman, you know, one thing that's generally I see that hurts me is women that are stuck in 9-to-5 jobs, not because they love it, but because it's what they have to do. So a couple of them are in jobs that they're not happy with. They work so hard, they don't earn a lot, but they stay there not because they want to, but because they believe that they have to. And so my mission with this talk today is to actually help people, especially the women listening, if any of them is in that situation, to understand the power of self-contemplation and how it can help them to emerge stronger. But before I go into what the whole thing about self-contemplation is, I would like to tell you a story, first of all. There's a lady that I met years ago. Just like this woman I described, she had a full-time job, really working hard, young mom, had young children. I think her major frustration, her major frustration was the fact that she worked so hard, and by middle of the month, she was broke. She kept thinking about ways to, you know, improve things. You know, she knew there was more to her. She knew she was made for more, but she was just stuck where she was. You know, she felt like, oh, you know, this is where it is. This is what it is for me. This is my path. You know, everybody says I should stay in my lane, so I should do that. Guess what? Interestingly, that woman today has 2 thriving businesses that serves clients across the world. Interestingly, she still has her full-time job, because according to her, when she actually launched her first business and it was successful and the revenue started coming in, she realized something that she never knew. She realized that she did love her job. She loved her work. She loved what she was doing. She loved the people she was working with. She loved the company she was working with. So the real pain was the fact that she felt she wasn't compensated enough, or she was underpaid. So with the money part sorted, you know, she was able to put herself into, you know, her job and growing her career while her business was also growing. Today, that lady not only has those thriving businesses, she's received several awards for the work that she's done in her industry. She has been featured on the dailies in her country, outside her country. One of her businesses actually did some work with the United Nations in terms of improving lives in her country. And so somebody might say, you know, what really changed? What helped to make that shift from that woman that was frustrated and did not see what to do or a way to go, to this woman that is like an uncommon woman, literally? I can emphatically tell you that the game changer was self-contemplation. And I can tell you that because that woman was me. That woman was me 10 years ago. I remember that October. I remember that October. Yeah, that October, it was interesting. I was tired. I was drained. I didn't know myself anymore. You know, I used to be a leader in university. I had big dreams. I wanted to travel all the continents by the time I was 25. I wanted to work in the United Nations. You know, I had a great job, but I didn't know myself anymore. I was disappearing. And so I took out my laptop and I typed, I want to resign. And a thought came and it said, why? And I was so quick to type and I said, because I am physically and emotionally drained. And another thought came and it said, why? And I'm like, and so I really start responding. You know, it's a dialogue with myself. At the end of the day, we went back and forth. And guess what I realized? I realized that I really didn't want to resign because I was physically or emotionally drained. I didn't want to resign because I had a young son at home and I was pregnant and I wanted to spend time with my babies. Why I really wanted to resign was because I was disappointed in myself. I came out best student in my university class. So getting to a point in my career where I hadn't been promoted for 7 years and people that were younger than me in the organization were becoming promoted, were getting promoted, I was disappointed in myself. I thought I was a failure. I didn't want failure to finally hit me in the face. So I wanted to take the bold step and resign and go into somewhere in my room and just hide under the duvet and deal with my pain. So that was essentially the plan. But that was what I realized from self-contemplation. There's a lot in us that you never know until you really sit down and ask yourself certain questions. So even though at the end of the session, I felt drained, I cried, we love to, give out emotions through crying. I cried, I felt drained, but there was hope. I knew that I was going somewhere. I had finally found that thing that was really the pain point. And I told myself, I'm going to prove to the world that I'm not a failure. I'm going to prove to the world that the Ifeoma that did the things she did in university was not a fluke, and that I would be able to do it even though I was married and I had 3 young children below the age of 3. And so that was October. Nothing happened. And then in December, I traveled out to have my second son at that time. And it was another time for another self-contemplation session. And this time I took out my laptop and I wrote, what can I do to improve my life? One thing I found is that writing or typing actually helps in just dumping all your emotions on paper, all the thoughts. So I wrote that, what can I do to improve my life? And things they're coming. A news article I had seen somewhere just came about a young lady that made so much money from blogging. And I laughed and I said, but I don't have any tangible gifts. I don't know what to do. Long story short, I responded and I said, I know how to give birth in the US back to back. And the thought came and said, start it as a business. I did. And that business has grown, giving birth to more. So what would I say is self-contemplation? It's essentially the framework is the same, 3 questions. You need to have the why analysis to understand the deep-rooted issues. What is that thing you're really running away from? It gives you an indication of your why, which will propel you. The second question is the what. What exactly do I need to do to change it? And you keep drilling deeper. And the third is how. And it doesn't have to be in one session. It can be in a couple of sessions. I've tried it for different things, not even this, every time I get stuck. I've seen the effect on my life. I've seen the effect on the lives of the women that I work with, career women I work with to birth more. And I would really love to see the effect on more women. So like Nelson Mandela says, there's no passion to be found playing small or living a life that is less than you are capable of. And on that note, I really just want to tell everyone, make our time this evening. 3 questions, why, what, and how. And I will be looking forward to your exploits soon. Thank you.
Ife, this was the shortest but the most impactful sessions I have heard in a long, long time. I know you're a fantastic storyteller. Somewhere along the line, the truth of what you were saying came in your face, and then I guessed maybe the protagonist is nothing and nobody but. Fantastic evening. Lovely to hear such self-confidence. What you have done is hundreds of and thousands of women who have been hearing or who will see you and watch you, the confidence to do this 3 things, the why, what's, and hows. And I am so glad I was here to do this session with you. It's lovely.
Thank you. Yeah.
Include men in it. Men also are in the same boat, if not worse, because they think they know the answer and they go the wrong way. So that's great. Women Economic Forum is truly honored
Thank you.
Today, with this session today, your participation today. More power to Women Economic Forum, more power to you.
And more power to you.
Thank you. Thank you. We celebrate because of all of you. Women Economic Forum 2021, the annual Global Digital Platform event that this is today, is pleased to confer on you, Machux Adize, IFI, a global award for being an exceptional leader of excellence, body of work. And we are honored to confer this award. It is digitally conferred. You will receive it by email within 2 weeks. And it's an immense pleasure for me to have been here with you once again. And I'm sure all those who watched, all those who are watching, and all those who will watch again on the social media would love to get in touch with you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. We'll catch you soon. Thank you, Ify.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you so much to WEF for having me. Awesome time. Thank you. Thank you for the award as well.
Welcome. And it is getting live streamed now. So I will do an introduction, Tanya, a quick brief about you, and then leave you to it for subject. So here we go. We'll have 12 minutes to do the session.
Sounds good.
Good morning, good evening, good day, wherever you are in the world, people watching us on live stream, on YouTube, Facebook, and on this platform. This is Ravi Shankar, happy to welcome Tanya McNeil-Berry. Tanya is speaking to us today from Arizona. Tanya is speaking on a subject which will be very close to people because of many reasons. The subject is going beyond borders for business growth. Large multinational corporations will not think it is of any value because they know how to do it, they are doing it. But the millions of people, millions of small and medium scale enterprises across the world, one of the biggest barriers to growth is the inability to access markets outside of their immediate vicinity. Technology has helped it, but then you need people like Tanya McNeil-Berry to help them really and handhold them to reach across to markets and people across the world and to improve the conditions of small and medium businesses with great potential to achieve that potential. So happy to welcome Tanya here. She is the founder and managing director of IBS Global Consulting Incorporated, which does exactly what I said, help small businesses to reach out to global markets. But that is not all that she does. She's also connected to an extent with an Indian origin organization, which is the Women's International Chamber of Commerce and Industry. She is the Northern US India Business Council President for WICI. Welcome, Tanya, the Global Champion for Women Economic Empowerment. Lovely to have you here in Women Economic Forum of 2021 Annual Global Digital Summit, hosted from Bangalore. Over to you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. And it was right on point, everything you said. And so I'll talk a little bit more about that. Just for a little context and a little background, I'll just share just a brief about how I got into international business for those who have not heard this story or read my book. I was studying my MBA a few years, a long time ago, well, not that long ago, but I had an opportunity to travel to China for a study abroad program that was focused on doing business in China. And that experience really broadened my horizon and really got me to look at the world totally different and to see that there were so many opportunities that was unexplored at the time for me. And so that's what really sparked my interest in getting into global business and starting my own international business consulting firm, which I started in 2009, just shortly after I graduated with my MBA in international business. But I just saw that there was a lot of small businesses in particular that were not taking advantage of global markets and that were not taking advantage of all the opportunities that going global had to offer, because it was this mindset that only large corporations could go global, that was just for the big guys, right? And so I am here to tell you that small is the new big. And yes, because of technology and because we live in a digital world, it is so easy for companies of all sizes to go global and to do business with people all around the world. So I'm going to just share with you just a few nuggets during our short time together today about going beyond borders for business growth. And why this is so important is because a lot of times as small businesses, we're constantly thinking of ways that we can grow our business. How can I grow my business? How can I increase my sales? How can I expand my reach? And a lot of times expanding into new markets or foreign markets is not even thought about as we're thinking about how can we grow and how can we expand. So I want to just share with you about that. Size is no longer a requirement for success in global markets. Again, because of technology, because of the internet, social media, anyone, anywhere, all around the world have access to international customers and partners all over the world. Small business, especially, you need to think about stretching beyond traditional borders and bringing the entire world as their customer base into their business strategy for growing their business. There are many roads to building a successful global business enterprise, but the first step, and what I like to stress, is the mindset. It all starts with the mindset, right? As a global consultant, I help entrepreneurs and small business owners shift their mindset to think global and take their business to the world, right? A lot of times a small business, I always say it's okay to be a small business, but let's not think like a small business, right? We have the same access as large companies through the internet, through technology, through partners, through different government resources all around the world, organizations, events like this. We have but you got to have the right mindset. You have to be global minded to succeed in international business and to be successful. You need to know how to connect with people around the world. Doing business globally, you're going to come into contact with people from various backgrounds and with various cultural differences. And so you need to be flexible, being able to adapt and being able to work with and communicate with people of all nationalities, all different cultural backgrounds, and having a global mindset it really helps in that. Your attitude and your way of thinking is a major factor in your success or failure. And again, it all starts with the mindset. And I speak on mindset a lot because it's the hardest thing to change, but it's the most important thing to do. Whether you're doing business domestically or globally, having the right mindset is going to be key. So whether it's conscious or unconscious, these mindsets can directly impact your success when doing business, and especially if you're doing business with people around the world. So just remember that it starts up here, and it's how we talk to ourselves, and it's knowing that, and having the confidence. I want to share about that. I spoke on this topic a little bit earlier, but I did not talk about the confidence, right? Having a mindset and also having confidence in knowing that enough confidence to know that you can explore global markets and explore these global opportunities, and that just because you're a small business does not make you incapable of going after some of these opportunities. Starting a business anywhere, no matter where you're starting a business, right? In the US, China, India, anywhere around the world, it takes grit and it takes determination. So it's not so much about where you're starting, it's about having the determination, the mindset. It's not just about having a good idea or a good product, right? Because those come a dime a dozen. We all have great ideas. We all have great products. But if you don't have the grit, if you don't have the determination and the motivation to take your product or your service to the world and to grow and expand your business, it doesn't really matter how great it is, right? I always talk about you can spend 10 years building the perfect product, but if you don't have that willpower, right, to get that product out to market, it really does not matter how great or how wonderful it is. So having a global mindset, it allows you to look at the world from a broader perspective, right? It allows you to be able to spot and to identify those opportunities regardless of where they may come from. So part of that is having a deeper knowledge and understanding of world markets. For a lot of small businesses that I talk to, that's one of the biggest challenges is I don't know where to start. I don't know anything about the world markets outside of my home country where I'm doing business. I don't know anything about that. So how can I take my business global? How can I expand beyond my borders? And I don't know anything about these markets, the cultural differences, the nuances, the regulations, all of these things, right? So I say, and I encourage you to just start to deepen your knowledge. And this could include just reading, talking to experts like myself, other folks that's in international business. Learning the language of international business is really key. And just being part of this global forum, the Women Economic Forum, is a great way to enhance your language of international business. I'm sure you've been participating in a number of sessions with people from all over the world and getting some great content. Attending these types of forums and engaging in cross-border communication and learning is a wonderful way to enhance your learning of international business and finding out what you don't know, right? Because you don't know, hearing from experts from all over the world, it just opens up a whole new perspective and it helps you to understand maybe more than what you understood before. So spend time educating yourself about the process. I don't want you to think that it's easy, right? As much as I encourage small businesses, especially women-owned small businesses, to go global, I will say that it's not easy. It's not an easy process, but start educating yourself about that process and what that looks like and what potential barriers you may have to overcome and the options and possible avenues for expanding into global markets, right? So although it's not easy, it's very doable, and small businesses of all sizes have access to the world through this little thing right here that we're talking on today, and that's the computer, the internet. Participating in trade shows at home and abroad is a great way to expand your global network and your global reach. I just participated in an international trade event a couple weeks ago, but it was right here in the United States where I'm based. But this event had brought 60 countries together. So imagine that. You are at an event, you are in a place where you have access to potential partners and customers from 60 countries around the world, all under one roof. I didn't have to fly to 60 different countries. This event brought the countries to me through my participation at the event. So participating in international trade shows is just a great, great way to access new markets. It's a great way to test the market, to see the response to your product or your service. You can do a product demonstration. You can see if people are interested in buying what you have to sell. So it's just a great way to really test the market and see if there is true interest in what you have to offer. But more important, it's a great way to expand your network and to meet people from all over the world. Definitely some of the benefits, I just want to share some brief benefits about going global and why it's important, especially for small businesses. Going global will help to diversify your market and help you to capture a new customer base, right? So if you're only doing business, so I'm based in the United States, and so what I like to share, I have the statistics on the United States. 96% of the population is outside of the United States, right? So if I'm a business here in the US and I'm only selling in the United States, I'm only reaching 4% of the potential population. So if I'm expanding my reach, if I'm looking to new markets, then I'm opening that up to being able to capture a larger demographic, a larger market base than just that 4% in the US market. And think about that, because the US is one of the largest markets in the world, but we have only 4%, right? The world's purchasing power is outside of the US. So I really stress to US companies to explore taking your business to markets outside of the US. If you are outside of the US, whatever country you're in, look to your neighboring countries to explore if there is an opportunity or if there is potential for your product or service in that country. The other thing, it reduces your dependency on your local market. So maybe you have a time when your domestic sales are down. Well, if you're doing business globally, right, maybe when your in your domestic market, when sales are down, maybe in another market, sales can be up. So it really helps to create a balance for your sales in those off seasons, right? Especially if you have a seasonal product, right? And so what do you do when it's an off season? Well, look to other markets. And so that's a great way as well of building your business through that I just want to share with you. If you want to connect with me further, because there's just so much to going global that I can get out in this short time, please connect with me via LinkedIn. You can just search by my name, Tanya McNeil Weary. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. Reach out to me if you're interested. The other thing I want to share, I think I have 1 minute, 60 seconds, is that I also wrote a book. It's called Women Going Global. It shares real life stories of women entrepreneurs who are doing business beyond their country borders. Women from 13 different countries, all different backgrounds. And I'm hoping to inspire more women, because we women, we are so underrepresented in international trade. So I really try to encourage more women to take their businesses global, right? And so what I do is I take women entrepreneurs on delegations to countries around the world to help expose more women to global markets. And so if you're interested in that, if you're interested in seeing what that's like, definitely connect with me. We do need more women in the international trade space. So I want to encourage more women, small businesses in general, minority businesses. There's just not enough of small businesses, especially small minority and women-owned businesses in global trade. And a lot of it is the mindset and thinking that you're too small to go global. But remember, small is the new big. And so I'm here to tell you otherwise. Think global, and you can, with the right plan, with the right connections, with the right attitude and mindset, getting connected to the right resources, you too can succeed in global markets. So thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure to share so many quick tips with you today. But again, feel free, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have offline. Thank you so much.
Tanya, it has been one hell of a rapid fire rodeo that we have enjoyed every minute of it. It's come from your heart, it's come out of experience, it's come out of practical sense, and it comes out of being a woman who knows what it is to do, whether it is for minorities, small businesses, people where the mindset changes the most important. And then rest of it is the facilitation that you have so ably doing with IBS Global and your drive and energy, wiki and all of that. As we come to the close, Women Economic Forum 2021, the global digital event that you are part of, must say things. One, extremely honored to have you here. And number two, I'm sure the audience who's watching you live stream on social media would have enjoyed every second of what you said. It will resonate with all people, all entrepreneurs, because everybody starts small. Nobody starts as a unicorn. The third thing is your body of work, your consistency of work, and the years you have put into your cause must be recognized. And Women Economic Forum is happy and honored to award the Exceptional Leader of Excellence Award to you for your body of work. It's a digital award. It will come to you, reach you within 2 weeks by email. Please download, and next session, we would love to see this in the back wall. Great to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sonia, fantastic. Much. And we will